Prefer when I'm by myself. I don't wanna hang around y'all. Pray for good.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Combat Sports Weekly Live. We are live via Facebook and YouTube. Coach Franco, Rulloda and MMA Davao. Diyos ko Lord, nagka-problema na naman na technical difficulty. Lagi kami nadadali ng technology. Everybody, thank you so much for your patience and waiting for us. Of course, joining me is my fellow Titos of Fighting, JC Reyes of Destroy MNL.
What is up? Lunes na naman.
Ayan, teka lang. Mabilisang admin work muna tayo. Everybody, please share this live discussion so that we can get to the meat of things and then we can have our guest in right away. Yun, naghanga. Oo, sa amin kanina pa naghahang. Napipiko na. Ako na nakakainis na talaga yung ano dito eh. Lagi kami kinakain ng technology dito eh.
Oo.
Teka lang.
Mag-share ng ating mga bagay-bagay dito.
Diba? Habang inaayos namin yung ano. Everybody, please help us out. Please share this live discussion. Okay, tulungan nyo po kami. Dahil talagang minsan lang din talaga nakaka-bad trip yung mga sabi ko, bakit na naman kinakain tayo ng technology?
Kung kailan kailangan, tsaka nagloloko.
Oo, kung kailan kailangan, doon nagloloko. Parang, sabi ko, anak ng weteg naman, no?
Pag-test matino.
Oo, anyway. Lang, nasaan na yun? Okay.
Diba? Pulang ko. Okay. Groups.
Yan, mga kamusta po kayo over the weekend? Thank you so much for waiting for us. Bad trip talaga. Ako minsan iniisip ko, minsan nakaka-rattle na pag alam mong maraming manonood, tapos biglang ang tagal mo. Sabi ko, walang yayan. Sabi ko, anak ng weteng talaga ba
naman?
Daw tayo
sa ba Facebook? Naman?
Yun nga raw, naghahang raw tayo sa Facebook.
What in the world?
Pero ako naman, I'm like, wala naman kami ginagawang masama. Hindi ko rin maintindihan ba't di nyo na lang kami mahalin.
Oo nga.
yung mga tao, di ba? Talaga, di ba? Wala kami ginagawa po dito. So lang po namin kayong bigyan ng serbisyo. Di ba?
Parang sa Facebook.
Yung mga nag-share, maraming salamat po sa inyong pag-share. Salamat po sa pakikichika sa amin dito.
Salamat sa pag-spend ng late Monday night nyo kasama namin.
Yes, Earl. What's up, Earl? Ayan, nagchichismisan kami ni Earl na parang, nako, meron na namang mga, alam mo minsan, walang masama mang gaya, pero kung yung panggagayang gagawin mo, walang innovation or walang kamuang-muang, 'di ba? Yung it's only gonna come out stupid. That's What's up, Jeremy Camases all the way from YouTube? Yes. Kita-kits tayo bukas. Ref Florence. We gotta go to work tomorrow. URCC 87. Malas yata mga fans ni Casimero natalo si Mike Plania sa boxing at John Losangyaw sa MMA ng same day. Pinabarang at kulam yata ng fans ni Hindi naman.
Hindi naman.
parang it's disrespectful to the parang wala namang merit tuloy si Mike Plania at saka si John Lo, di ba?
And meron din namang, alam ko meron ding
petition for the Titos of Fight Tech Guy help. Hindi, si Jace guy namin yan. Pero
Obi-Van. Yan.
Yung mga
Obi-Van, yung mga tipong after event ng URCC, pag kaya pa namin, magla-live kami from the van. Ganyan.
The van. Oh, the van. Yan, tingnan natin. Lalabas na ba yung ano? Nasaan na yun? Ayan! Everybody, this episode of Combat Sports Weekly is brought to you by MC Cycles and the Dojo Garage Green Hills. Thank you so much to MC Cycles and Dojo Garage Green Hills for supporting this episode and supporting Combat Sports Weekly. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. MC Cycles in Dojo Garage Green Hills is located sa Connecticut ng Green Hills San Juan. So when you go there, napakagandang gallery ng ng mga motor, motorcycle accessories, and then on the other half is a very big mat space. They have a lot of programs. So they have jiu-jitsu, karate, taekwondo, judo, and it's parang nag-shape up siya to build a community for kids. Nakakatuwa, ang daming kids doon, di ba? Nakita ni JC nung nag-live episode kami doon.
And very, very interested yung kids sa lessons na natututunan nila from that. Forgive me kung sino yung coach na nandun that time. I forgot your name, but galing ng ginagawa mo.
Diba? And tawag dito, I'm not much of a motorcycle guy, so I'm not going to be I'm not gonna be trying to be an expert, pero si JC kasi nung nakikita yung mga gamit doon, ang gaganda nung di ba? JC, ang gaganda ng gamit. Ako nakikita ko lang, sabi ko ang gaganda ng gamit dito
May big bikes, yung mga big bikes, merong naked bike, may touring bike, may maxi scooters, tas may mga classic scooters like mga Vespa, mga ganyan. Ang gaganda ng mga motor na nandun. Parang
di ba? So
sarap
everybody
i-drive.
di ba? Ang ganda. Takot ako sa motor So pero si JC ang nagbibigay ng nagbubuyo. Pero again, everybody, thank you so much to MC Cycles and the Dojo Garage. Make sure you follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Check out their merchandise, check out the motorcycles. Okay, I saw a lot of Vespas there. Check out the classes at the Dojo Garage, and kung gusto nyong or may kakilala po kayo na gustong makita yung logo nila dito sa show namin, send us a message, send us either JC or myself kung paano natin magagawa yan. Maraming salamat din po sa mga tuloy-tuloy na sumusuporta. So if you're over on Facebook, send us your stars, help support the channel. Lagi tayong nire-report, kaya kailangan po namin ng tulong nyo. Siyempre, lang din yan, pambayad ng internet, tsaka pang ng gamit namin dahil lagi kaming lagi kami inaapi ng mga taong ayaw humarap sa amin kasi gugulpihin namin sila pag nangyari yun.
Yung mga nilalangaw-langaw dyan.
Ayan, yung mga nilalangaw-langaw na pilit na gagawin na lang, magpapakit na lang. Of course, our friend here, ang ating Tito sa Fighting correspondent sa UAE or sa Gulf region, Harvey Iliana. Shout out from Beyond Kickboxing. Can't wait for K1 Rebirth in September. Akihiro Kaneko versus Masahi Kimura. Okay?
Reporting from Tokyo pala siya. Reporting from Tokyo pala si Harvey.
At taga Tokyo ba to? Ay, hindi. Si Tito Pocholo nga pala yung taga Gulf region. O nga pala ito, taga Tokyo pala. Uy, I love Japan. Okay, I love Japan. One of my favorite countries to go to. Okay. So baka pag gusto niyo ng play-by-play commentary and fight analyst, pwede kami ni Tito JC. Lipad niyo na lang kami sa Tokyo. Okay,
Tagalog na
Openweight Grand Prix. Oo, is Mahmoud Satari reporting from Ayan. Yan naman pala. Just vacation pala. O, di magbakasyon tayo doon sabay-sabay. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching. You're watching and listening to us live via Facebook and YouTube. Dapat nasa URCC tayo rin na page. Kaso talaga kanina pa namin iniayos. Ayaw talaga tumawid. As in, ayaw talaga. Nakakapikon na
Kung sino may kabisado dyan ng Restream.io na
yung isa. Si
streaming?
Tito Ernest, anahin natin. Paayos na lang natin kay Tito Ernest. Diba? Ron says, AB Fight Club, pansin ko lang sa stand-up, mas common ang boxing movement sa UFC. Tapos sa one naman, mas common ang Muay Thai. Does this have something to do with culture? It's not just the culture, it's the styles. So when you talk about UFC kasi, sa UFC kasi, mataas ang boxing acumen kasi ang stance ni boxing, it's a little bit wider compared to the traditional Muay Thai stance. Sa Muay Thai stance kasi a lot of it is squared up. So you have a lead leg, and then most lead leg that keeps bouncing on and off. For some fighters, majority of them go squared up. So nakaharap sila masyado. Sa boxing kasi nakatagilid ka. You're more or less at a 45-degree angle. Yes, malaking part din doon yung culture kasi a lot of the fighters sa one championship are from the Asian region. So a lot of them practice a lot of kickboxing and Muay Thai, whereas sa UFC, a lot of them may mga Muay Thai practitioners din, pero kasi
mostly nagsisimula sila sa boxing sa UFC for some
oo,
reason.
yun din eh. That's very true. 100%. Tapos
Mm.
ano rin kasi, ibang wrestling pedigree sa West culture.
Oo.
'Di ba? When you talk about 1FC, I mean yung grappling meron, pero yung wrestling it's a little bit lower. Not unless it's a Russian guy or some
Yeah.
Eastern European guy that will fight. And more often than not, if you see that happening, when they take people down, it's so much easier. Why? Because yung mga Muay Thai fighters na nakakalaban nila or yung mga medyo highly inclined in Muay Thai or kickboxing, very squared stance, it's easy for them to take down. Okay? So medyo those are the working factors. Michael Dunon. Okay. Hindi. Michael Dunon. Iba kasi rules ng one.
Not
Hindi naman.
exactly.
More or less, it's still, it's still, very much MMA related. So, everybody, thank you so much for watching and listening. You're watching us live via Facebook and YouTube, Coach Franco Rulloda. Uy! Ang ganda naman nung camera dyan sa likod mo, JC. Ano yan? Classic. Classic. Okay. Thank
Pero
you
hindi
so
pa
much
display lang to.
Ayan, no? Maraming salamat po sa MC Cycles and Dojo Garage.
Yes.
So nakikita nyo po, ayan. So sila lang po ang babanggitin natin for the entire evening. MC Cycles. Tsaka yan po, Dojo Garage. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Shoutout po sa
Ganitong
mga
klaseng helmets,
nanonood
I
ngayon.
believe meron sila doon. I can't show the brand.
Ayan.
Hindi ko alam kung meron sila. Pero mga pang-classic na motorcycles to mga ganitong helmets eh. So, yeah.
Ganda.
May Vespa kasi dito before eh, pero
diba?
kinailangan ibenta.
If you're over on hey, Doc Vince, what's up?
Doc Vince, ang
What's
aga
up,
mo
Doc Vince? Mukhang maaga nagising si Doc Vince. Doc Vince, marami. Ayan din po ang ang mga OG supporters ng Tito sa Fighting.
Yes, since day one.
Oo, El Scorpio Perfecto, what's up? Sino pa ba mga nasa comment section? Yan, si Mamoy, Moy Espinosa. Okay, if you want your comments or if you want your comments to be seen right away kasi bago matabunan, please make sure you use your super chats or super thanks sa YouTube. Tapos make sure you join the community tab para makita ko kagad yung mga comments nyo. And then over on Facebook, please send us your stars para ma-highlight natin kagad. Kasi syempre, nakakatuwa yung mga tao, mataas ang interaction. Pero yun nga, kailangan natin ng para kung gusto nyo makita namin kagad yung comments nyo. Thoughts on Charlie Suarez meeting Devin Haney? Definitely huge boxing IQs.
Very interesting yan.
Very interesting yan. And I'm very happy to see Charlie Suarez in the United States kasi oras niya na talaga. Diba? Tapales versus Inoue, that is going to be a a high-profile fight for Tapales. Diba? He's bringing so much in the table. He's going to represent the Philippines. And kung babalikan niya yung usapan namin last episode with Kuya Jerry. Sabi niya, magandang matchup yung parehong nag-iisip. Diba? Tapos syempre, papasok mo pa rin si Casimero sa equation. Maganda yung interjections saka yung insight ni Kuya Jerry doon yung tatlong yon, Tapales, Casimero, Inoue. Doon sa last episode namin.
May mga mag-question ng konti doon sa kanyang opinion about that. Pero it's a very interesting take kung tutuusin. Kung titingnan nyo yun. Just go back to the previous episode and, hirap na maulitin namin word per word yung sinabi niya.
Pero it's very, very interesting. Okay, it's very, very interesting. Okay, marami nagtanong nito, Tito JC. Your thoughts on the Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz fight?
Well, actually, simula pa lang kasi nung announced pa lang, not to shit on Nate Diaz, pero alam ko na malamang sa malamang Jake Paul ang mananalo dito. Mainly because yung style naman ni Nate Diaz isn't really for that kind of fighting. Medyo mas brawler si Nate Diaz. Brawler in terms of MMA. And mas grappler siya kaysa striker. And then, ano ba? Nakakatawa nga, I think last month or 2 months ago, in-interview si Nate, hindi ko alam kung high lang siya no, ano, sinabi niya, I don't even know the rules of boxing. Tapos lalaban siya kay Jake Paul. What the hell?
Diba? It's like, teka lang, inayos natin to. Ako, I'm very happy that Nate Diaz took this fight kasi wala eh. It's good. It's a good payday for Nate Diaz. Alam mo yon. And thank you to Jake Paul for making this fight happen. It's a good, alam mo yon, it's nothing to be taken seriously. Ako, in all honesty, you don't take this fight seriously. It's an entertainment fight.
I consider it an exhibition.
Oo, you can consider this as an exhibition fight. Diba? Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. And pag nakita mo rin yung body language ni Nate Diaz, parang he wasn't really even into...
He was playing.
He was playing around. He was he was throwing punches. He got knocked down. Diba? Totoo naman lahat yun. Lahat yun. Pero yung for him to take this fight seriously, parang you can't count on him to do that. Kasi, diba? And you expect Jake Paul to win. Una sa lahat ng panalo, all of the fights that Jake Paul won are against smaller opponents. Diba? When he fought, ano ba? Benson, sino nga ba yun? Yung ninakaw ni Masvidal, yung wrestler? Ben Askren?
Ben Askren, yeah.
Diba? Ben Askren does not strike. Diba? He's a wrestler. Diba?
Aminado din si Askren dun.
Diba? Tyron Woodley. Diba? These are, pag nakita nyo kasi, these are 170 pounders. Diba? And Jake Paul is like 190. He weighs in at 190. So so fight night, diba, he'll probably go 205, 215. Diba? Easy 205, 210. So ang laki ng advantage. Diba 15, 20 pounds na advantage sa boxing. Ang laking difference nun. Lahat ng pinalo niya, magagaan. Then the only time that we saw him fight a legitimate guy, diba, is a semi-pro boxer who is at his weight division, diba, talo siya. So parang,
Tommy Fury.
Ayun, diba? So parang parang you expect him to win, diba? Dapat he should win.
Yes.
Yeah,
Plus, mas babad siya sa boxing compared sa mga kinalaban niya na MMA fighters.
Ayun pa. Sobrang babad siya sa boxing. And good for him. It's like spending 2 to 3 years. Ano na ba, JC? Mga 3 years na, di ba?
Mga ganyan, 3-4 years na siyang nag-train in boxing para dyan. And ano din eh. I mean, kasi if you compare yung training ng MMA fighters versus someone katulad niya na babad sa boxing, I mean, when you train in MMA, you train in striking. Not only boxing, you train kicks, you train elbows, knees, nag-grapple ka pa, nag-wrestle ka pa. Ang dami mong iisipin when you train in MMA versus in boxing, mostly, it's punching. Tapos yung, offense, defense, angles, and other stuff. Kumbaga, dun ka lang nakakonsentrate, unlike MMA. And, pag matagal mong ginawa yung something like MMA, tapos bigla ka mag-transition to boxing, it's gonna be, hindi kaya ng biglaan eh. I mean, siguro may iba na parang kaya, pero not exactly. Kasi, I mean, may tendency pa rin na isipin mo, baka bigla kang sumipa sumuntok. Mas maalala mo, boxing nga pala to, hindi pwede. Yung kumbaga yung mindset mo is still in MMA.
Layo. O yan, even the doctor agrees. Fight Circus, dapat Jake Paul versus any pro boxer, same weight class. Jake Paul supported the veteran MMAs for... diba? So, definitely, yun din yung okay, diba? So, para sa akin talaga, it's a good payday for Nate Diaz. And then, sabi nila, afterwards, post-fight, sabi nila, Jake Paul is gonna fight MMA. Then he's gonna Sabi it's going to be a $10 million payday for Nate Diaz. So I really hope that happens. It's going to be amazing for Nate Diaz. May pang-retire na siya. Okay. Hey, what's up, Professor Dwayne Carasan? Hope you're enjoying
Welcome
the show.
to Manila.
Ito, Coach, the only MMA guy who was a somewhat successful pro career is former UFC fighter Clay Collard, now fighting in the PFL and signed by Top Rank. Okay, for boxing.
Yeah, I mean, meron naman ding mga fighters from the UFC na after doon, maaga pa sila lumabas and dabbled into boxing. Pero hindi rin naman kasi sila magiging kasing high level compared dun sa mga alam mo yun, mga since bata pa na sa boxing na, hindi habang tumatagal dun lang sila nang doon as compared to dun sa mga, someone who's from MMA transitioning to boxing. I mean, okay, may mga matatalo ka, pero you'd have to spend a little more time in boxing bago ka medyo magsimula talagang umangat dun .
Oo. Tsaka iba ang requirements talaga.
Yes.
Sobrang talaga. Iba. Tsaka
even yung pace
ito yun take ni Jake Paul, pag meron talaga siyang tinalong ganyan, yung legit na boxer, di ba? Kasi wala puro retired MMA, retired UFC fighters, tapos sobrang liliit, di ba? At least 20 pounds heavier. At least 20 pounds heavier siya, or his opponents are 20 pounds lighter. It's very alam mo na kaagad lopsided Alam mo na kaagad talaga malayo talaga.
Yeah.
So it has to be on an even or equal playing field yan.
Yeah.
Naku, okay rin. Harvey yan. Okay rin yung mga facts ni okay rin yung mga ni Harvey. Ayan, Fabio Maldonado, from Brazil. I've heard of this guy. National boxing champion. KO'd Fedor in Fight Nights. Oh, yan. Di ba? Mga maliliit na promotions na lang din halos yan. Di ba? It's not. Everybody, hey, you are watching us. Okay, you are watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. Coach Franco Rulloda. Make sure you follow the Facebook page and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Send us your stars on Facebook and send us your super chats and super thanks on YouTube. Ano to? Jake Paul, Jose Aldo. Ang liit ni Jose Aldo, Diyos ko. Fights at 145.
Sa 155 nga, mukhang maliit si
The Hardy
Aldo
versus Serrano bout was naman. This was a really good fight. Okay.
And for Amanda Serrano na lang din, I hope she does attempt her 8th division. By the way, she's the 7th division women's champion. Malapit ka nang maabot si Pacquiao. It's the women's division, pero maabot na yung 8th. So, isang laban na lang on super welterweight yata.
Ayan, kanina pa tinatanong ni Ron Sisto. Yung mga makukulit susunod, ito yan maglalagay na ako ng format, yung mga talagang gusto nyo talaga sagutin ko talaga, na kailangan talaga mag-send na kayo ng stars. Dapat the next coming weeks, ang dami nagtatanong, kahit nag-PM sa akin, sabi ko, okay, next time, lagyan natin para naman fair. Para naman fair dun sa mga nagsisend ng stars, di ba? Yung mga nagtatanong, nagsisend ng stars. Na natin. Yung mga tanong next time, kailangan may stars bago natin sagutin. Kawawa naman yung iba, para fair dun sa mga nagsisend ng stars. Nakaawa na rin ako. Kahit madalas naman, as much as possible, we want to accommodate everyone. Okay, Mike Plania, John Losanyao. Okay, it's very unfortunate na natalo sila. Syempre, you don't want that for our fighters. However, yung kay Plania kasi, ang factors dyan, inactivity, di ba? It's been a while since he fought. Then probably training regimen. We don't know what's happening sa camp niya. For John Lo naman, you have to understand na this guy is still up and coming. Raw talent pa tong si John Losanyao. Hindi pa natin nakikita yung full potential niya. 'Di ba? Hindi pa buo yung skill set niya. And 'di ba? Masyado lang natin maganda yung nananalo siya. There's hype going on behind his name. Pero syempre, habang nakikilala ka, habang nananalo ka, tumataas din yung level ng competition mo kasi 'di ba pinaghahandaan ka na talaga. People are taking you seriously. So let's not judge them or let's not assess everything based on ako kasi hindi ko siya ugali. Hindi ko ugali na
Oo.
I'll judge you or I'll see what happened or why things happened dahil natalo ka. I'm going to watch what is going to happen sa susunod mo na laban. Kasi for example, diyan sa state ni Plania and ni John Lozangyo, natalo sila today. O di tapos natalo sila.
Mhm.
What I'm going to look after is anong magiging performance nila sa susunod na laban nila. Kasi
Yes.
doon
I'm sure
natin
they
makikita.
learned a lot from those fights. Yun ang
'Di ba? Doon natin
importante.
and to echo, I'm going to echo, that's very important. Yung sinabi ni JC, doon natin malalaman kung nag-improve ba sila from their
Mm.
previous loss, 'di ba?
Mm.
'Di ba? Doon natin malalaman. That's the only way, 'di ba? That's the only way you can give a proper assessment
Yes.
based on their recent loss if they've
Mm.
improved on their next fight. 'Di ba?
Is
Whether
it
they win or they lose, you have to see some significant amount of improvement or have they adjusted when they were put in the same situation.
Mhm.
Ganun yun. Ganun yun. So doon natin malalaman. It's very unfortunate pero syempre, ano yun natin yan. Lions Head Boxing in the house,
Yes.
baby.
What is up?
Mr.
It's his
Birthday Man
birthday week.
himself.
Yes.
Okay. Magka-birthday month po kami. We're
Mhm.
same birthday month kami ni Coach JR. Di ba?
Yes.
Yeah, that
Mongolian
is crazy.
wrestling yung
Syempre,
ginagawa nung isang yun eh.
di
'Di
ba?
ba?
And
It's
ako ever
Mongolian
since,
wrestling
di
ang
ba?
pinakita doon.
Di ba? Di ba? It's ano eh, it's a
Mm.
very it's a what do you call this? Syempre, ako I've been introduced to Mongolian wrestling way before pa. Parang college pa lang ata ako.
Mm.
'Di ba? Kasi yan, there was a time that was the time that Coach
Mm.
Marcos Valda was very active and he would say, "Bro, sabi, you should see how these Russians, the Central Asians, these Mongolians,
Mm.
how they wrestle. It's such at a high level. They're very strong. Kasi naturally strong."
Oo. And
Uh, so
laking
definitely
factor pa
maraming ano yan.
nung ano din, nung climate doon eh, no? Sobrang lamig
Mm,
doon sa kanila and they can wrestle that way.
oo, 'di ba?
Grabe,
It's
kahit
going to
saan mo sila dalin. Lakas ng mga
oo.
hangin.
Uh,
Sabi
si Coach
natawa ako dun.
JR. Coach JR. That dude is a reincarcerated right-hand man of Genghis Khan minus the bows and arrow. Ang God. Mr. John Che Baltazar.
Good
Tito John, what's
evening.
up? Tito John.
What is
Che
up? Ito
Baltazar.
kanyang strive movement na gear.
Ayan. So, again, everybody, thank you so much for watching and
Mhm.
listening to us. We are live on Facebook and on
Mhm.
YouTube. Teka lang, asan na yan? Again, everybody, please, nasan na yun? Thank you so much for, yung pala, ASJJF, Marianas Open was held over the weekend.
Yes.
Thank you so much to the
Solid
Dumao
yun.
team for having me over to referee the fights.
Mhm.
Sobrang nakaka-appreciate yung ginagawa ni ASJJF, Dumao Manila team for growing
Mhm.
the jiu-jitsu community. Kasi doon mo makikita na they have the community in mind, they have the competitors in mind. Great
Mhm.
turnout. Thank you so much to the Marianas Open team. Marianas Open is from Guam.
Mhm.
Ang ganda ng ginagawa nila for the growth of jiu-jitsu and the jiu-jitsu community here. The format is very nice. Nakikita niyo naman maganda yung venue. Ito yung pinaka-importante. 'Di ba? You have good referees. There
Mhm.
are I'm not saying this because I'm part of the referee team, pero kasi kunyari yan, it's under Professor Alvin Lee and Sensei Edison Kagohara. They really put us in the grind. They really put us in the grinder. As in, tatanungin ka nila, i-exam
Mhm.
ka. There's always a referee seminar course. They always highlight the importance of being fair and making the right call. And they also tell you na you're human, you're gonna make mistakes. People will contest, people will ask for clarification. It's up to you to really make sure that you're doing right by the
Mhm.
competition and you are doing or you're following the rules.
Yes.
I've been competing in jiu-jitsu for a very long time, almost my entire lifetime. ma-appreciate mo pag on time yung tournament. Pag sinabi nilang 1 o'clock yung laban mo, 'di ba? Mga 1:15. And or kung may late man, sobrang liit ng difference. Compared to the other tournaments or yung mga kinalakihan kong tournaments, weigh-ins ka ng 11:30, lalaban ka 6 o'clock. Alam mo yun, ganun kasama. Alam mo yun, ganun
Dati
ka-hassle.
ganun no? Dati ganun eh.
Oo.
Medyo in the recent years, medyo umayos-ayos na talaga siya. Pero dati may mga ganyang klaseng events eh.
Diba? Doon mo talaga makikita na ang layo ng difference. Ang layo na ng difference. Now, when you create a system and you implement a system, a working system, yeah, that's what JJF, the Dumao team is implementing or executing. Diba? So, there's gonna be another one sa Baguio. So, I really hope na yung mga kapatid natin dyan sa Baguio will join and support that. It's going to happen at the Baguio Convention Center. Talagang with the community in mind. Kasi, isipin mo ganun na. Ganun na magpatakbo si Dumao. Ganun na rin magpatakbo si AJP. Diba? Abu Dhabi Jiu-Jitsu Pro.
Yes.
Diba? Everything's on time. The setting is nice. The officiating is top-notch. Diba? The table officials and the
Yun
committee.
dapat ang makasanayan natin kasi overseas ganun ang setup eh. It should be that way. It should have been that way for a long time.
Should be that way. Diba? So ngayon, i-compare mo siya dun sa mga ibang tournaments na ganun pa rin. Delayed. Hindi mo makausap na maayos yung organizer. Yung referees.
Sariling rules.
Sorry na lang sa referees, pero, di ba? Yung iba doon, hindi naman nag-jiu-jitsu pero nagre-referee. Di ba? May nakita akong tournament na ganun. Sabi ko, hindi naman nag-jiu-jitsu yun, ba't nagre-referee yun? Di ba? Tapos yung iba, nagre-referee, hindi naman tama yung tawag. Di ba?
Parang hindi briefed dun sa rules.
Oo, hindi ba? You were not briefed or you didn't even try to brief yourself, di ba? Doon mo rin makikita ngayon, gaano kahirap talaga mag-referee. Ang hirap mag-referee, maniwala kayo sa akin, okay? Tanungin niyo yung mga kaibigan yung referee, nakakatuwa ba mag-referee, di ba? Isipin niyo na lang, hindi nakakatuwa mag-referee. Una sa lahat, kailangan kabisado mo yung rules. Pangalawa, pag may nagtanong, kailangan kaya mong i-explain yung rules. Number 3, kailangan ride or die ka sa sa decision mo. Kung magkamali ka man, kailangan aminin mo na nagkamali ka. Pero at the same time, 'di ba? Huwag kang mawalan ng confidence na tatawag ka ng tama next time. Serbisyo talaga siya. Serbisyo talaga. Okay? Have you guys heard of special rule? Not Winter Girl and Jing will do, not, I don't know. Have you
nakita ko to sa story ni Wonder Girl eh. Bali yung rules is 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. All punches allowed, no kicks, knees, and elbows. Scored using a 10-point must system, tas 4-ounce gloves. Basically, para siyang boxing, pero 4-ounce gloves. Hindi ko alam kung ano pa yung ibang laman nitong rules na to eh. Pero para siyang, I don't understand. It's pretty much boxing with MMA gloves.
Oh, di ba? We'll go check it out. I'll go check it out, Coach JR pa. Tsaka kung ano yung final. Baka may magbago na naman yan. Di ba? Baka may magbago yan. What's up, Bernald? What's up to you? Hope you're enjoying the show.
All punches rule set. So, pwede mga back fist, ganyan?
Di ba? O yun, o, di ba?
Oh! Pwede mga back fist, mga ganun. So,
Ron
so
says, yes, totoo. Dapat talaga. For example, when I was talking to one of the directors ng IMAF, they all said, for example, let's take Russia for an example. You can't be a sports head if you're not a sports guy.
Yeah.
The same way that you can't judge or referee tournaments or competition kung hindi ka practitioner or at least a world champion or at least a champion sa sport na yon, 'di ba?
Interesting.
Yan, kita mo kay Tito John, dito nasa app na din yung timings. Yan, di ba? Weigh-ins, yan. Pwede naman talaga eh. Tsaka mako-compare mo. Kung maganda yung for example, we will go Dumao, AJP, di ba? Pag makita mo maganda yung pamamalakad, tsaka pagpapatakbo, you end up comparing it to the other tournaments or it will become the standard. for
Yes.
other tournaments. So now when you compare and you see na parang kung if you're a tournament organizer or sumasali ka sa tournaments, i-compare mo ngayon kung ano yung experience mo doon. So if the other one, or if the other tournament, sablay talaga, pangit yung mga tawag, 'di ba?
Mhm.
'Di ba? Hindi maayos yung 'di ba yung sa oras, 'di ba? So you end up, 'di ba, mapapagod din yung tao sa totoo lang.
May
So
sinasabi si
hindi na
Earl eh.
mag-ref kayo sa I don't know. If pag sinabihan ako ng ASJJF na mag-referee sa Dumao, I'd be more than happy to go to Baguio. And Baguio holds a special place in my heart. Favorite ko yung Baguio. One of my favorite places to go. Ano to? Yung bagong grappling competition na may public demand, baka mas malupit.
Parang alam
Ito
ko
yan
yan.
Ito rin yan.
Parang
Madaling
alam ko kung alin yan.
magpag-grappling event. Madaling magpag-grappling event, okay? Ang mahirap, i-determine yung rules, i-implement yung rules, magkaroon ng technical committee that will do the rules, and at the same time, find people that will have really good matchups.
Yeah.
Yun ang mahirap dyan. Diba? Yun ang mahirap dyan.
Lalo na kung iniiwasan.
Diba? Lalo na kung alam na yung grappling tournament or alam na kung yung organizer hindi magulo kausap, 'di ba? Magulo kausap, manggagancho, 'di ba? Mahilig manlamang,
And nagka-issue na
Ayan.
back in 2014 related sa isang grappling team na Japex.
Oh, 'di ba? Yung Ayan, I had a great experience during the Marianas Open. Thank you so much, Kenneth Tolentino. Worth it ba pagod mag-ref? Ako kasi I do it in the service of the community. Kasi kailangan umangat yung community para yung mga maiiwan, pag nawala na ako sa mundo, alam ko na mas mataas na yung level na nandito siya compared to when I started. This is something that I openly say. Everything that I do now, from this podcast to everything I post online to how I talk about combat sports, and JC and Karl shares this with us, everything that we're doing here is going to benefit the future. Yan ang goal. Gagawin namin to kasi later on, sabihin natin in the next 10-15 years, merong gagaya sa ginagawa namin and they're gonna do it better. And by that time, mas mataas na yung audience, mas malaki na yung audience. Kasi naumpisahan na namin. Yun ang pinaka goal.
The goal is to have more educated audiences pagdating sa mga ganitong shows eh. And for our combat sports in general eh, kasi maraming naniniwala pa rin sa lucky punch, mga basta sa kung anong tsambang panalo na palagi na lang pagka natalo, dinaya. I mean, somebody has to do the explaining para naintindihan nila kung ano ba talaga yung rules, kung how things work here and there eh. Kasi kung walang gagawa, I mean, di naman namin sinasabing kami lang yung tama, but you know, sinimula namin to.
Walang diba? Yeah, mabait kasi si JC. Cut him off. Kasi mabait si JC. Ako sabi ko kaming golden standard. Mag-isip kayo ng ibang tao na kayang gawin to na mas magaling sa amin. So, totoo lang. Diba? Who can do play-by-play better than me? Probably JC. So, boxing, diba? Same level or probably better, John Yambao.
Yes.
Diba? Yeah, diba? We're doing it for the community, for the boxing community, the Muay Thai community, the kickboxing community, the combat sports community in general. Kailangan may magsimula. Kailangan talaga may magsimula. Kami yun. Yun yung pinakamahirap gawin. Magsimula. Ginagawa namin.
Okay lang naman nagayahan kami. Basta, you know, kumbaga, katulad ng sinabi ni Franco, we put a standard kung paano siya gagawin. At least level that. Or if you can, try to top it higher. Mas okay.
Hindi, dapat higher. Dapat higher.
Diba?
You should do this. The next batch, who become, baka hindi na titos of fighting, pamangkins of fighting na, di ba? You should do a better job. I'm expecting
Inaanak
people
of
to do a better job. Oo, di ba? I'm expecting people to do a better job. Kasi kailangan tumataas ang level.
Yes.
Okay? Kung sinimulan namin ngayon, tas kailangan you should do a better job at this. Okay? Oh, definitely, Harvey Liana. You keep at it, di ba? And you keep posting content about it. Mangyayari yan. Ikaw K1 analyst natin. Red Samson, watch out for him
What's
tomorrow
up,
sa
bukas?
Xylo BGC. Meron siyang grappling super fight.
Co-main
So,
event, di
that's
ba?
going to be, co-main event. Very exciting, di ba? Coming out party
Co-main
to ni Red
event.
Samson. Over limit Tarlac.
Co-main event meaning, do not forget to subscribe sa pay-per-view. 99 pesos lang yun bukas. Hindi nyo mapapanood yung laban nyo pag wala kayo nun. Nag-plug talaga.
Oo, di ba?
URCC. URCC. Kaya ako sinuot yung shirt eh. For that. In the crazy way, nakikita na rin naman yung pangalan nyo. Baka gusto nyo rin kami supportan dito.
Oo, di ba? Crazy win, beka naman. Di ba? Tsaka si sino ba yung Sino ba yung for tomorrow? Hindi Crazy Win eh. Crazy Win
Hindi
ba?
ba si
Hindi.
Crazy Win?
Damn it.
Crazy Win na nakalagay sa
Crazy Win ba?
sa fight card eh.
Okay. Hindi, iba pala yung nasa
Ah.
isip ko. Kita mo, nawawala na ako.
Lepre.
Nako, si El Scorpio Perfecto. Ang hirap naman ilagay yung ko.
Na. Hindi, El Scorpio, actually meron nga eh.
Meron nga, pero yun
Meron
nga.
nga.
Walang masama doon, gawin nyo. Pero yung
Just
mga
do it
sinend
right.
sa akin screenshots kasi, parang nagmamadali. Ayan, di bahala kayo dyan, di ba? Di ba? May ano kagad, di ba? I mean, gawin nyo kagad, pero ito yun, di ba? Ito yun para magkaroon ng for all combat sports, all.
Yep.
And I really think, and JC will agree with me on this because based on all the combat sports we've covered, sa lahat po ng combat sports, kailangan muna maka 5 hanggang 10 event ka muna, di ba? Kasi kailangan introduce mo yung event. Yan, mga 10. Kita mo nga si JC, mga 10 agad. Kasi kailangan mo build yung community, tsaka yung mga laban, doon mo makikita yung record ng mga laban. Hindi pwedeng sisimula ako pa lang, may championship na kagad. Parang pangit naman.
Parang inaugural.
naman nun, di ba? Di ba? Walang what do you call
hilaw
it?
pa, kumbaga.
Oo, di ba? Wala kang credibility at integrity doon, di ba?
Yes.
Di ba? Pero kung
parang namimigay ka lang ng belts here and there, parang gano'n.
Ano to? Ayan, sabi ni George Ambas Jr., parang walang authenticity yung championship. Yes, that's true.
Kasi pwede na nga rin siguro 5, at least basta competitive yung division kung saan maglalagay ng belt. Kasi like si, good example, sa One Championship, si Angela Lee, she fought for the inaugural atomweight title on her 6th fight. Pero winning streak naman din siya talaga. And yun nga, I mean, katulad ng mga ganun, I mean, hindi rin naman kung sino-sino lang ang kinalaban niya before she was allowed to fight for the title.
Yung pinakamagaling daw na mag-play-by-play sa boxing ay yung vlogger na nagka-issue sa copyright tsaka sa mga mainstream media people yung sobra dami subscriber. Ewan ko na lang. Ako?
Hindi, wala akong alam dyan.
Lahat magaling. Yun na lang. Yun ang pinakamaganda. Lahat magaling. Ngayon, yung audience na lang magde-determine kung magaling ba talaga. Para sa akin kasi the market will always decide, 'di ba? Kung 'di ba?
Kung tingin nila hindi tayo magaling, hindi wala.
'Di ba? At the end of the day, yung nanonood naman, 'di ba? Sa tingin nyo ba, 'di ba? Nasa manonood naman 'yun kung sa tingin ba nila tama ba yung sinasabi nung naririnig nila? Sa tingin ba nila maganda ba sa tenga? 'Di ba? Masarap ba pakinggan kasi 'di ba pag naririnig mo yung mga Kinito Henson, Seb Sarmienta, 'di ba yung mga Andre Ward, 'di ba? Kahit si Tim Bradley, 'di ba? Pag narinig mo yun sa tenga mo, alam mo parang it's so when you hear them talk about boxing in general, parang it's so nice to hear. Boxing becomes more than a sport It's such an art form pag sila yung nagane. Kahit si Thurman, pag nagpe-play-by-play,
si Thurman, magaling.
Magaling nakakatuwa. Galing. Di ba? And speaking of Thurman, di ba Clarissa Shields ba yun?
Oo.
Hinamon, kaya daw niya si Thurman. Teka lang tigil. Sit down.
I mean,
You gotta
sige,
sit down.
three division, alam ko pagkakaalala ko, three division undisputed champion daw, or two division undisputed champion si Clarissa Shields. Pero, I mean,
Definitely
di ba?
not on the same playing field as Keith Thurman. Teka,
No.
magtigil nga kayo Okay, mga kaibigan. Teka lang, meron tayong
Yep.
bisita, okay?
We have a guest
Diba?
tonight.
We have a very special guest
Mhm.
tonight. Diba? All the way from URCC Landia. Hey,
Mhm.
URCC General Manager and Head
Yes.
Honcho Alexander Sofronov. Alex, what's up? Thank you so much for
What's up?
spending time with us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Franco. Thank you so much for the opportunity. How are you guys?
Good. We've been waiting for you.
Yeah, very excited to have you here.
Mhm.
For everyone, if you have any URCC related questions, Alex will be here to answer your questions. Let's kick this. Let's kick this off. Everybody, I don't know. For Alex, what were your first impressions when you saw the combat sports scene here in the Philippines? I mean, from a guy for a guy who's come from a country that has produced so many champions, world champions everywhere, and not just in wrestling, but also in sambo, in judo, in boxing, and now in MMA. What were your initial thoughts when you came here in the Philippines and you saw how the combat sports scene is? Okay, so that at least everyone knows okay, what is it right now and what we need to do in order to improve.
Great question. Well, the first thought that I had about the MMA scene in the Philippines is that it's really underrated compared to other countries. For example, in Russia, I mean, it's very cultural, right, to have a fight or to be able to participate in the fight. So if you're a man, you still have some sort of MMA experience, whether it's judo, sambo, wrestling, and etc. In the Philippines, it's rooted connected actually. MMA industry, not only MMA industry, but the culture, because the MMA culture itself is actually coming from the knife fighting. So the standing and the fundamentals are actually coming from the Philippine culture, especially stick fighting, and knife fighting. So I would say this is very a big opportunity for Filipinos to grow, not only culturally, ethnically in stick fighting and the knife fighting, but overall internationally in MMA industries. Not only MMA industry when it comes down to UFC, one champions, and so on, but for in a different spectrum such as like wrestling, jiu-jitsu, grappling, gi no gi, and other sports. So I think it's a big opportunity for us in general to grow and to develop something new. Because I know well-established sports such as basketball and volleyball are doing really well here, but we have to get something that can be connected and attached to overall mainstream people. Because I'm myself coming from very like ordinary family in Russia, and we were able to scale up using the platform of wrestling in Russia to go from Russia to United States, and from United States to get the education, to get the experience, and then to kind of broadcast ourselves in the international level. Yeah, so I think MMA not only in a spectrum of ONE FC, UFC, or URCC, but in the spectrum of having like a Olympic Games level sport, so which is amateur wrestling, which is freestyle, Greco-Roman, women's wrestling, gi no gi, grappling, and judo, and other aspects of MMA. So I think it can be really big, and that's what we're trying to do together with Chief Elvin to grow that and make it more mainstream for all over the Philippines.
Okay, and quick follow-up question for the benefit of everyone who's watching and listening. When it comes to wrestling, Alex, what age did you start wrestling? And please paint a picture. What is the wrestling scene in Russia? Because
Oh my
everyone
goodness.
has like stories. Everyone's
Yeah.
just, playing urban legends. And now we have an actual guy who grew up in that culture so that people think. I always tell this even in previous episodes. Okay. I always tell them, you only think you know how to wrestle. If you've wrestled an actual Russian, you're
Mhm.
gonna you're gonna say shit. My wrestling is shitty. It's so bad. So Alex, please.
Well, I started. Well, I went to the like my first practice happened when I was like 5.
Wow.
5
Yeah,
years
but
old.
it doesn't really. It's actually the same scenario and same basically uh, a practice or growing up method that Elvin is using towards his kids because they
Mhm.
grew up basically in the gym, right, in the mat. So I had exactly the same experience, but my dad is also a wrestling coach, so that's how we can connect with Chief Elvin. Basically, yeah, 5 years old, but till 10 it was very like just amateur, just play around to develop my skills. So I never, my dad would never pay attention on the winning or anything, just make sure that I had fun and I grow. So after 10 years old, I cut up, I got cut up with provincial level wrestling, and that's how I got my shine. So I started wrestling more professionally. I got into a different senior group, so I became provincial champ, then national medalist, and kind of grew from there. And wrestling is something that people really respect. So I would say before 10, people in high school used to call me pussy, because I'm like a half breed between Russian and Asian. So
Mhm.
Okay.
with the wrestling, I got that immunity towards older generation and
Mhm.
not within the high school community. You know how it is, right? You grade 6, grade 7, and people like bully
Mhm.
us. But not only there, but in a different like a spectrum in terms of like getting respect from elders, getting appreciation of your personality due to your specific achievements. Because wrestling is almost the same as basketball in like
Mhm.
Brooklyn or Cleveland or something like that. So, and because of the wrestling, I was able to scale up my education abroad in the United States, and therefore I went. After that, I went to Canada and got my first bachelor degree. Because of wrestling, again, is because of scholarship. I had some, I would say, like some talents in terms of educational
Mhm.
academic stuff. I was really good in English, math, and like logics. I was always competing in different like Olympic games that we call it, and back in Arctic. So I would definitely, but I was able to succeed in this using the wrestling. So the same wrestling mentality, toughness, and so on and so forth. But yes, I started at the age of 5. I started competing professionally at the age of 10, and I stopped when I was 23. So I would say it's actual professional time is 13 years.
Wow.
JC.
Yeah, and for those who are interested, you can check out Alex's matches on YouTube. They're crazy. They're all over YouTube. So you can see how he wrestles there.
Yeah,
Very
but you
very.
guys have to understand, like, you gotta,
Mhm.
in order to win something, right,
Mhm.
to succeed in any industry,
Mhm.
you gotta be like passionate, you gotta
Mhm.
love sport or love what you do, you
Mhm.
gotta have a talent, and you gotta be like almost
Mhm.
mad about it, because in order to get anything you have to sacrifice.
Oh yes.
For example, instead of going out, you choose to stay, to collect yourself, to recover and stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm being honest with you, I was never a big fan of wrestling,
Mhm. Wow.
but in terms of being Olympic champion or something like that. So everyone knew that. My brother knew that. My dad really pushed me really really hard, and he knew that I have a talent. But
Mhm.
I used that not I used that not only just to succeed in sports, but I used that to succeed in different areas. So
Mhm.
that's what wrestling is about. Is not,
Mhm.
or MMA is about. It's not just a sport, but it's something that can give you a shine. It's something that can elevate your game. If you're like a just average smart, if you wrestle, now you're a genius, for some reason. Like, 'cause- yeah, with that combination you can actually really 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 succeed. For example, like my brother Anton Safronov,
Mhm.
he was average wrestler. He definitely did, he won national championship back in his time, but using the momentum and using the mentality of a wrestler, he was able to graduate from Harvard and MIT. So
Wow.
and he succeeded a lot in professional level and academic level and other levels. So using the same mentality, if you shift that to normal
Mhm.
civil perspective, I would say you can really, really do something great.
And then of course there's the physical requirement of
Mhm.
performing any type of sport at the highest level. what do you think, in your personal opinion, and of course in your experience, Alex, what are the other things or the other requirements needed in order to succeed? So let's put it in a combat sports related setup. So for fighters who are watching us right now, like what do they have to, what are the other requirements in order to succeed?
Beside the talent, that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And then the physical requirements, because people only think that it's just hard training. Then afterwards, there are no other
Mm.
things needed in order to be good at something. So, in your experience as a very accomplished athlete, and now you're very successful in other facets of life, what do you think are the other things that people have to improve on in order to get to that level?
oh yeah, for sure, different levels to it. Different levels brings different requirements. So, for example, if you go provincial or just cadet or junior level, all you need
Mm.
to is to have the talent.
Mm-hmm.
At the very small level, the talented kid beats everyone. It doesn't matter if you train, you don't train, if you're like working hard, putting hours after gym, and so on and so forth. Talent beats everything at this level. But then the stage two is when you go a little bit stronger, we get equal. Your like hormone level becomes exact identical to your peers because some people grow really fast at the age of
Mhm.
11. When you see in the weekends tournaments, some kids are like giants, right? Like 74 kilograms, 88, but some of them are very small, like
Mm.
48, 50. So people grow differently. But when level becomes same in terms of talentship, then the skills come up. So the
Mhm.
people who really put the hours, who really put attention on the details, like the movement and so on and so forth, who have the people who have like a mentality also. So like skills and mentality comes up. But skills is like a number two, and number three is mentality. So your spirit.
Mhm.
If you're willing to push to like 100%, if you're willing to actually get something. So
Mhm.
it goes like this stage. First stage is talent, then skills, then mentality. So those are three important things that you have to build up in order to I think succeed or complete anything. So you get that talent that you passionate about something, then you
Mhm.
put the hours, and then there's going to be a question when the god is or circumstances will question you whether you really want to, you know and you're going
Yeah.
to like question yourself, well, should I just quit now, should I call in, should I
Mhm.
call, or should I call sick, or do I really have to do this? Then this is real stuff comes up. So I think it is really important to build up not only physical aspect, not only a skill, like which is more like a I would say your rational thinking, but your mentality, your
Mhm.
spirit, like warrior spirit in particular.
Yeah.
JC.
And how? I'm just gonna backtrack a little bit. You mentioned you started at 5. How does it work? How do they determine that you're here for wrestling, you're here for boxing, you're here for sambo, or other sports?
Well,
Do
the
they have
main
you try everything first?
yeah, basically, yeah. I did a little bit of boxing. I did a little bit of MMA myself when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
I did sambo.
Mm-hmm.
There are two different types of sambo. So there's like a sport sambo, like
Mm-hmm.
the Olympic level sambo, which is very similar to judo, the more groundwork, and you wear shirts. And there is a striking sambo. It's called combat sambo. It's more like a military based sambo. So I did both, just for fun. It's no requirements needed or anything like that. So but I was just really good about in wrestling, and it's your choice basically. They will give you the options. The gyms basically are all open, but this comes out to what community you want to be a part of, what style do you really prefer, and what really gives you the light, because we all want to have a recognition, right? So especially when
Mm-hmm.
you're young boys, you want to be like, oh, national champ or provincial champ or something else. So you want to be a different, you want to differ yourself from the other peers, be greater. So I was great in wrestling. I tried judo, I sucked at it. Yeah, like I don't have that momentum, explosiveness, because in judo it's all about the explosiveness, to get the
Yeah.
opponent.
Mm-hmm.
I wrestled judo when the Yapon double leg was allowed.
Mm.
So when they eliminated that, so that's it. I can't really compete anymore. I cannot do throws. I was never a throw guy. For boxing, it's fun, but it's just something that requires more like cardio. So like wrestling
Yeah.
is more like lazy sport. Uh, Even though in terms of grappling, like freestyle wrestling is the most dynamic sport, compared to boxing, this is a super lazy. Because what you do is you put weight on another person. Basically, the person is carrying the weight, right? So it's like there's a ways to cheat the system. Yeah, yeah.
You you know, Alex saying wrestling is a lazy sport is like making me cry right now. I was like,
Yeah, it's pretty dynamic compared to other grappling sports. But in terms of like MMA scene, like boxing or wrestling, boxing way more dynamic, guys. Like way more. You gotta be really like there's something about your vascular development, so you don't have that. If you don't have that explosiveness and for long period of time, because the match is really long. You know, you fight basically half an hour when you go to professional, so you won't be able to succeed. And I didn't really have that. So explosiveness, yes, in terms of wrestling, but in terms of like boxing and you go there, no, not really, guys. It's a different game. So that's why I choose wrestling and kind of started working on this. Yeah. But getting the actual skill, getting to know wrestling how it is in terms of art, it came to me really late, like at 21, 20. Yeah, yeah.
all right, we have a question here from
Yeah.
Onces Fight Club. Why are Russians so good in boxing and MMA? Does it have something to do with the old Soviet government implementing good programs in boxing, wrestling, and sambo in the past? Okay,
Oh,
let me
yes, yes.
rephrase this question. All right, let me
Uh-huh.
rephrase this question. How much of the old system is still being implemented right now? Or has the
Yeah.
program evolved through the years
To
based
be
on your
honest,
experience?
in terms of wrestling, right? In terms of wrestling, based just on objective analysis, of course, it's going to be subjective from my own opinion, right? So it's a bit harder. But comparing the medals before, I would say Soviet Union had better system in
Well,
terms of
which one had better system?
Soviet Union past times. It was more developed
Mm.
than because right now basically back in Soviet Union all the schools were under the government subsidies,
Yeah.
and now we're transitioning into the private sector, so we see different like we have like probably 25% of the gyms that are open are private, so they're going to
Mhm.
commercial, right? So we lose that aspect of getting or defer kids into like private and non-private, and the non-private is basically like a government owned. So most of the gyms, and I'm coming from the like a government owned gym, are different level. And in Soviet Union basically uh, level was very like even, right? So everyone was poor basically. So
Mhm.
and it was the only way to succeed. You gotta like be really smart, or you gotta be really talented in sports. You gotta achieve something. So people were trying to get something like plus one in this kind of regard. Now it's a bit, I don't know, maybe it's getting a little bit I don't know, people getting softer or something, I don't know. But the game is different, so people don't really fight anymore that much in the street, and which creates the less demand for protecting yourself, and which creates less people going to the gym. So now it's a bit like a little bit harder to say, but it is coming from the Soviet Union system, because most of the gyms that we have in Russia, that not we have, I wouldn't say that I'm like super Russian. Look at me, right? I'm more like a Baguio than Russia, so it's a bit hard. Yeah, yeah, but like in Russia, the system is giving the allowance for talented people to be reached out to, because there's so many gyms, and there's a perfect system
Mhm.
to train for free, not only for
Mhm.
free but to get the subsidies. So free allowance for free meals, free dorms, free education. So if you're talented enough, they will definitely provide. So people are striving for this, and that's how you get not only the people who can afford, but people who can actually wrestle. And usually wrestling is very like pool sport. Freestyle wrestling, not jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu, you guys are fancy, man. You gotta buy a gi, you gotta get the coach and stuff like that. I don't have that luxury. Like, no, 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 no. Like you in
Look at
wrestling,
this wrestling guy shitting on
wrestling,
jujitsu guys. What the
no,
hell?
no, what I'm saying is like when you see the like a jiu-jitsu community, you're a guy's nice, you're like friendly, you keep like a competitive spirit, because you guys are coming from good families. When you see the wrestlers in Russia, most of my peers, most of my classmates coming from like a foster schools,
Mhm.
you know, most of their parents are like dead. or alcoholics. So they have no chance but to do this, you know. So like,
Yeah.
so it's a bit different. So that's why people are so good in Russia, is because most of the guys who are like very successful in wrestling, they have no choice but to be wrestler. When you like other peers, for example, when you're coming from great family, you have choice between like academics, different sports, not only wrestling. So you're not cornered into one
Mhm.
do. You know, you have more variety to do so. So I would say that's why one of the reasons Russia and Iran in particular are so great in wrestling is because of this kind of like aspect. So in
Mhm.
Iran has exactly the same system when it comes down to wrestling. So they have free gyms where it's fully subsidized, so you don't have to pay rent, right? Like the owners of the gym, they basically the government workers, like firemen or teachers, right? So they get like paid for per month, salary based, and they get
Mhm.
PI basically getting like if you get this amount of guys who won provincials, then you get higher up, you know, plus 20%. If you get
Mhm.
national champion, then you get like a super bonus from like province or something. If you get Olympic champion, then you get like an even bigger bonus. So it really limits you as a owner of the gym or a coach not to think about like, oh, I need to have this quantity of guys to work like in order to come sustain the gym. Oh, I have to get this. So you don't really waste your time. You just get the proper like a you find that diamond and you just sharpen and sharpen and sharpen and you
Mhm.
just think that he's gonna or she's gonna succeed. So I think that's why Russia and other countries are very strong in wrestling and MMA industry. First is because of the Soviet Union system previously. Now it's still kind of remaining the same principle and same funding towards like Olympic sports such as
Mhm.
wrestling, boxing, and so on and so forth. And secondly is the mentality. So the mentality of getting this because it's the only thing that we have. So I would say that that's in my case. I didn't really have like I'm from average family, but I won't say that I'm like lowest low in terms of like social aspect. I was bright enough to like study. I was one of like top classmates in my batch, and I had the opportunity to do so. So, but I was smart enough to use the sport card to get
Mhm.
extra credits or extra opportunity and actually succeed and get it done. So yes, Russia definitely has a different system, Soviet Union. But now I'm thinking like there is a different countries such as like Kazakhstan,
Mhm.
Kyrgyzstan. So they're doing really well in wrestling, and one of the reasons why is because of the government subsidies. These guys are building like crazy sports infrastructure complexes, like crazy, and they're paying them really, really well, man. If you're world champ, you basically get like 250,000 pesos per month, like
Wow.
allowance. So it's great. Then on top of this, you get the sponsorship deals, because it's a very popular sport. Even though Kazakhstan is a very small country, I think it's like 50 million people, you still get a lot of allowances. So with the proper push, with the proper indications from the government and proper fundings and proper people on the ground,
Mhm.
such as Chief Alvin, what he's doing with like jiu-jitsu and what he's done so far for Philippines community and the jiu-jitsu community in particular is great. So if you have these kind of people from both sides, so not only like government but actual
Mhm.
people on side doing the job, wrestlers, you can really succeed. But it's really hard, guys. You got to have that culture. In Russia, I was born with it. So I can't really say that oh we're great because we have a great system. No, we are great of in terms of wrestling is only because of variety of situational or
Mhm.
circumstances, situational factors. Yeah.
And of course, just to add a little bit to what Alex said, he mentioned Kazakhstan. Now, when you look at the UWW in general, the United World Wrestling, this is where our national team competes. And this is like, as far as I know, hey, Alex will correct me if I'm wrong. This is like the world governing body for wrestling. And you look
Correct.
at the participants there, and you look at Central Asia. So there's Russia, there's the Eastern European countries, and you look at Central Asia. So you go, then you also look at countries like Turkmenistan. Yeah, but these are slowly, okay. They're building their programs, and we're seeing athletes performing at the highest levels. And
Mhm.
these are the athletes we are going up against. That's why it's very hard. But for some weird reason, Chief Alvin Aguilar is making things happen. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we've sent a lot of contingents there where we're doing really well with the likes of Abe Del Rosario, Fiera Fan, Lucas and Lucho Aguilar. So the future is bright, and we're doing it right in the sense that we're sending the young guns. We're sending we're sending. I mean, ilan taon na ba sila Fier, sila Abe, sila Loki, di ba? They're like
18, 19 like
di
that.
ba? Like
Something like that.
15, 18-year-old. So by the time that they go 21, they've experienced
Yeah.
world championship level competition.
Mhm.
And now I want to shift a little bit. Wait. Let's sneak this in first. This is from our community member Earl. Has Alex fought with a Pinoy wrestler back when he was active? I guarantee you, no Pinoy is going to beat this guy. Okay, I will answer that question. Nobody's gonna beat this guy anytime soon. Okay, so even look at Alex. This is Alex off season. Okay, you look at him on the screen. This is Alex off season.
Yeah, I'll
So
try and
basically, the biceps are Alex's shirt is crying right now, especially in the bicep area. I guarantee you. Okay? so okay, this is off season Alex. Do not pray for an in season Alex to wrestle anybody, especially even if we go national
Mhm.
team level. Okay, so let's shift over to URCC. What were your when you became part of the URCC's organization and you're running things? I'm very happy, of course, that Alex is finally showing his face, because there are a lot of developments when he got on board and putting in a structure. Basically, he's put in a really good structure. Tell us your thoughts when you've evaluated and analyzed the Philippine MMA scene as a whole.
Well, Philippine MMA scene is, I mean, it's doing great. Not only because of the URCC, but in different aspects like One FC, and there is lots of fighters coming from Baguio and different regions. We just need to really emphasize on the locality and localize it, so get it more mainstream, so people can join, watch, and learn sports. Not only MMA, but the different aspects like grappling. That's why we're now implementing grappling into URC events, different content such as bare knuckle fighting, because bare knuckle fighting is basically a cheap version of professional boxing. So you have more talents here to actually get that opportunity to scale up a little bit harder, because bare knuckle industry is rising due to bare knuckle UFC and other promotions outside of Philippines, and that's what we're trying to do. But the basically I started like literally last year, a year ago. The problem with the MMA scene in the Philippines was the opportunities, the lack of the content. So what you have to do is to create more content. So that's why we started doing the show on a monthly basis. So right now is basically the stage when people are getting familiar with sport, familiar with the brand, getting more, increasing the community outreach and community reach in general, getting more fans, fan base, and so on and so forth. Next year is going to be a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more not only in quantity of events, but in quality in terms of the content, production, and the I would say expense. So it's going to be a little more expensive. So content is bringing more other fighters, well-known fighters, because every industry is based on the marketing headlines. So people buy shoes, specifically Nikes, even though they have different pairs without logo. So that's what we need to bring, the more talents with established names to the URCC and to the Philippines in general. Then we need to bring up a proper production with the event. So we need to get a proper event place, and then we need to continue to do a dynamic content by bringing the online a little bit harder. So what we're gonna do is focusing on the online fights, not event fights, but online. So it's gonna be exclusively for pay per view. So that's our goal basically for the next year. But for now, it's more so like focusing on the aspect of the marketing. So bringing the name, bringing the more games, more fun to our audiences. And for now, it's a bit harder because we have to be efficient, and now we're getting sponsors. We're getting a little bit we're getting more subsidies, but we need to structure it that way so we get the proper content, and then do based on the content, you can actually pressure up a little bit harder, a little bit higher in terms of sponsorship, TV deals, and other cash flow generator activities. So
Okay,
for
before we go to to JC's question,
Mhm. Yeah.
here's a comment from one of our viewers from the United States. Look at this guy. I think John Cena should be. Okay,
Yeah.
JC.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember it was in the press con. You mentioned that is that right? The bare knuckle matches are now gonna be back to actual bare knuckle, not just bare knuckle rule sets. Is that right?
Yeah, basically we established the Amateur Bare Knuckle Association.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
what we're trying to do right now with Game and Amusement Board is to
Yes.
professionalize the sport. And in order to professionalize the sport, we need to have more data on the sport itself. And bare knuckle
Yes.
is a very young sport.
Mm-hmm.
KFC and other promotions are very established and legalized in the United States and England, Kazakhstan, and other countries, right? But primarily, United States and England are pioneer countries in terms of
Mm-hmm.
bringing bare knuckle as a legal entity and as a legal professional sport. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to take their steps in the Philippines and legalize it properly with the Game and Amusement Board. Game and Amusement Board are, you know, great organization in terms of bringing and legalize the sports in general, make it professional sports more as a professional sport, like a full time jobs for all the athletes, and make it safer zone for any athlete to compete. That's great. And what we're trying to do is right now is to establish that. But before establishing as a professional sport, we need to establish it as a sport in general. So that's why we're taking the road of getting the amateur sport in place. After getting the data, we need to push it and push it towards the legalization of the sport. So right now, we got down with amateur. We have the organization, and we will be doing that. The problem with that is nobody wants to get cuts, for
Yeah.
free. And when you do the amateurs, basically the biggest difference between amateur and professional is that professionals get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Amateur league, we cannot pay guys. It's going to be just for fun, so it's going to be harder for us to find the content for it, but
Yeah.
we will be building that. Yeah, so there is no problem with that. It's just something that we have to work with. We can, and I totally understand the gap. Institution, they need to
Mm-hmm.
preserve and prevent from anything happening in the soil of the Philippines. We need to protect our fellow athletes, and we need to make sure everything is based on the regulations. It cannot be raw coming up and see how what
Oh, yeah.
happens. We have to be really careful and very solid and understanding all the opportunities and weaknesses of the sport. Then, with all the data, we have to conclude and decide whether it's going to be legal or it's suited to the Philippine sport as a professional entity or not.
Mhm.
So yeah, we
Is there
are
a
amateurs now.
is there a timeline that you're looking at to get it from the amateur to the professional level?
I would say probably next year.
Mhm.
Next year. That's the plan, and we need to really speed it up because big giants are already coming. So we need to
Oh yeah.
really step up and actually do it really fast, which is
Yeah.
very hard in the Philippines. Yeah, but
Yeah.
of course we understand the circumstances, right? We have to be very cautious when it comes down to professionalizing, when it
Mhm.
comes down to regulations. We have to take that into consideration. We cannot be foolish and we cannot play around with that because we're talking about somebody else's life. It
Mhm.
can change some, like it can change an athlete to become a great or to have some very serious life changing
Yeah.
uh, uh, circumstances or situations. So we have to be very very careful.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
From the URCC's perspective, how was the execution of just doing MMA, and
Hmm.
now it's suddenly diversified? So now we got bare knuckle, now we have slap, and
Hmm.
then now we have grappling. We just introduced
Mhm.
grappling, and then from what Alex just explained, it's also developing a grassroots program, an amateur league that will help athletes transition to becoming professionals. So
Hmm.
what was the idea behind that? Did the URCC just implement this, or what was the planning going behind the
Mhm.
scenes so that at least people can have a better understanding of URCC's vision for the whole combat sports scene here in the Philippines?
Hmm. With using the amateur platform really gives us a lot of opportunities in terms of creating more content. So in terms of business development, it's very efficient. In terms of just bringing up the legacy, like bringing up the MMA into Philippines, that's great because what we're trying to do, we're trying to create proper system when the
Mhm.
amateur athlete can transition to the professional sport properly. So you don't go from 0 to 100. You basically go
Mhm.
0 to 1. You establish yourself properly in amateur world, amateur MMA, grappling, wrestling, bare knuckle, boxing. Then you go to the professional league. We're not. It's not like we're creating something new, because boxing has that, right? But boxing
Yeah.
is such an old sport, so it's a bit easier for them to establish because it's already existed. All we need to do is just bring it up here. For us, basically, we're creating something new in the MMA scene, especially in professional scene, because we're one of the pioneers who are bringing the amateur level athletes to the scene to use our platform and our marketing expenses and our marketing zone to give the light to young perspective, young kids to get that momentum and to
Mhm.
then go to the professional league for URCC. That's why we're using the PMAF, and PMAF is
Mhm.
also established by Elvin Aguilar. PMAF is the organization, that the amateur organization under EMAF, that has the mm, all the athletes who are doing, like in the Philippines, doing MMA like amateur,
Mhm.
have some sort of record, professional record, and they can actually
Mhm.
scale up. So we're bringing the PMAP guys into URCC to get that like light. Once they get at least 5 fights, now we can talk about getting their contract, getting the name, and so on and so forth. So right now, basically, the implementation of the fight works in different ways. So not only the content in terms of fights, but also in terms of marketing. So we are trying already bring their marketing game already. So bring up the
Mhm.
young kids. So once they step foot on the professional level, they already have the history, highlights, the previous videos, the trash talk, weigh-ins, press con, and they already experienced. They're almost like ready to do so. Because
Mhm.
sometimes, usually, what happens is that lots of really good fighters from Philippines going to UFC, one championship. They go to that field with no experience whatsoever.
Mhm.
They did have the fights, they did have the record in amateurs, but they go to the big scale, big companies, event-based companies, and they have no game. Even though they're great fighters, they have no game and they get crushed either by the light, they cannot
Mhm.
stand, cannot because they cannot trash talk, or by just not having the name in themselves.
Mhm.
And that's what usually happens, because you have to speak up, you have to talk, you have to develop that skill to sell, to monetize your fan base into the ticket sales and then get the cut from it, right? Because that's how it works usually, because it's business. And that's what we're trying to do, to use that amateur level to bring up in terms of the business development. Because I don't want to say, oh, we're here only for the glory of the Philippine sport. No, we're still doing the business. You still have to pay the employees, you still have to pay for the event, for rent, for the fighters. You have to get, your net basically. And that's what we're trying to do. But the main reason why we're doing this is to systemize the properly MMA community. Not only MMA community when it comes down to MMA fights, like MMA, but like grappling and other aspects of conflicted sports or mixed martial arts sports into one scene, and to like bring it more to say, hey guys, if you want to do this, you're not alone. You can do it easily. If you're like
Mhm.
from Iloilo, if you want to fight, go to any DevTech gym or like any jiu-jitsu gym right now. Go to wrestling gym right now and start already, and we can show you how it's done. We can show you that's possible, because we have the kid from Bagola like fighting tomorrow. He's happy to be here. He's ready, and we were trying to show that it doesn't matter where you are from. Doesn't matter if it's like tiny island or like somewhere in the mountain or Manila, Makati, Pasay, Pasig. You have a chance to actually become the fighter, and we are here to help you not only to become a fighter but monetize that and become a professional fighter. So that's like another thing that we were trying to do. So yeah, that's great that we're doing this free content, helping kids, and also the helping our vision to come into place.
And look at that. So Bin Cuevas is also a Titos of Fighting. He owns the Sports Bin. This guy
Mhm.
covers mainstream sports, and he also covers combat sporting events. So he live streams it, and then he does the BTS.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
very
yeah.
much involved in the volleyball scene in the
Oh,
Philippine Volleyball League. So this guy, so he said that you're very methodical with your strategies. When he says hindi bara-bara, it's not trashy. It's not all
no,
over the place.
yeah.
Okay, so
Thank you. Appreciate it.
basically saying that we need more
Mhm.
guys like you. And
Mm.
then Earl has a follow-up question to what Alex just said. What's the URCC's time frame with the implementation for the grassroots development program? And how soon will we be seeing this?
Well, I'm with you, 100% on this as soon as possible. Our timeline is next year, probably second phase. Once we with the content, what we're trying to do is to create like one center for
Mhm.
MMA where we can train, we can do
Mhm.
professional, unprofessional, and different like events based in one place.
Mhm.
Only MMA, like MMA, but like kickboxing, Muay Thai, wherever, and of course, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and so on and so
Mhm.
forth. So, but it will be implemented the second phase the next year. So I would say second
Mhm.
quarter, third quarter next year, if everything goes accordingly. Because it's still business. What we're trying to create is we're creating the business. It's working. Operations is in proper. Now we're trying to get the proper investments in place, and then will scale up into something bigger. So it's going to be a little bit more implemented. It's going to help us to build up, of course, our vision, then our mission, and then the business part of it, of course, for the content to monetize, then to unite the different in inclusive areas such as Asia and world.
Mhm.
So
JC.
for the development program, basically, just wait for the next year, guys. It's going to be
Mhm.
amazing.
Mhm.
And just one more question. One of the things that people have been asking me a lot, knowing that that I work with the URCC. I've been working with the URCC for at least 6-7 months now, and they've been asking me when the URCC will be doing events in bigger venues. I mean, we've done the events in like Silo or DD nightclub.
Mhm.
Well, we've done a bigger venue in Zamboanga del Norte and Pangasinan, but
Mhm.
here in Metro Manila, when is the URCC going to be doing events, say like in Araneta Coliseum or something bigger than Silo?
We did the Akada last year, actually, in December.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we
Mhm.
did the big events already, and in the previous history of URCC, URC has done a
Mm-hmm.
great events before, like 5,000 people. URCC
Mm-hmm.
Okada was 5,000 people. So
Wow.
yeah, we will be doing something big like Araneta November.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this year. We just need to properly adjust in terms of budgeting, and it's going to be done
Yeah.
this year. So it's going to be really, really big. We just need to polish it properly and actually implement it.
Okay, when it comes to doing things like that,
Mhm,
we've been very vocal about this, and I
mhm,
want to know Alex's thought because he has the acumen and the analytics to give us a very rational and objective answer.
mhm,
What are your thoughts on URCs as an organization will always provide very good high value fight cards and very good entertainment for the audience.
mhm,
Mhm.
What gap do you see, or what is the gap between, or what is actually the hindrance that is stopping people? Of course there are budgetary constraints, but sometimes it becomes an excuse for me. This is just my personal opinion. It becomes an excuse. Why is it so hard for Filipinos in general to watch something like this? Like for example, they want this has been my opinion for the longest time. Pinoys in general,
Mhm.
they want high value fight cards, they want high value production, but they
mhm.
want to watch it for free.
Yeah.
That's been my beef ever since. So Alex has probably more intelligence in order to
Mhm,
explain this to us.
Yeah.
And what can we do? Because this is a very good product. I mean, if people buy stupid things, there is something that we need to address in order in order for people to appreciate and actually
Mhm.
buy this. And so far, the URCC is doing a great job. We've seen people watch pay-per-views. Okay, so
Mhm.
Mhm.
what were the things that you addressed in order for people to actually buy pay-per-views for the URCC?
Yeah, I don't think I would say that you're less intelligent than me. I would really doubt that, to be honest. But like, 'cause, I mean, come on, when say we're all wrestlers, like, how intelligent? It's like there's a bar that we have to meet, yeah, after all the concussions and everything. But uh, it is harder to convert. So you know how it works with the sales nowadays. Digital
Mhm.
marketing definitely has like escalated the sales game very very
Mhm.
rapidly, and now it's easier to track because we can analyze. We have the data to do so. So what you do is you have the event, and you have like for example website, right? You have the website with information. Then you have marketing. You bring the traffic to the website. Basically, let's say website is selling point. You have your store, right? And you need to
Mhm.
bring more people to the store in order to buy something.
Mhm.
So what you do is you create more content, and content brings the it's like
So that's like your funnel, and that is
basically
Mhm.
yeah,
your
there's a funnel.
magnet towards that.
Yeah, so you have basically like organic content when you have Instagram, social media platforms, and so on and so forth. That brings organic uh, traffic to your website, organic people to your store, right? So they see something related, they see that you're doing well, they go there. Then you have a pay per click when you get the you use the algorithm of Facebook, which is Pixel, right? And they
Mhm.
uh, do the paid advertising in Facebook and bring the traffic to the website, or bring
Mhm.
traffic to the store. And then over time you get that analytics and database of the people who are interested in you, like in people who are not only interested. You get like, okay, so there's basically 1,000 people went to your website and only 100 people are interested, right? So out of
Mhm.
100 people of interested people, two people bought. So you know your conversion now. So out of
Mhm.
like 1,000 people, right? 1,000 people, 100 are interested. Basically, it's 10%, right? Something like that. Or let's
Mhm.
say 10%. Yeah, and then out of 110 to okay, let's not say two. Let's say like 20, right? 20 bot. So it means the conversion from traffic is basically 2%. So
Yeah.
what you need to do is create more content based on that you have, that you know that your content that like brings 2% of conversion rate. It
Mhm.
means that out of 100 people, two people buy. So it means that you have to bring more traffic. You know, in order
Yeah.
to bring more traffic, you have to focus on the marketing and really bring this up. But you're right, Franco, about one thing is that it's really hard to convert, very hard to
Mhm.
convert. So you have to really establish it and really work on this. And I wouldn't say that we've done a really good job, but we are doing something, towards escalating this game. We have now it's easier to sell tickets. Now it's easier to sell tables. It's
Mhm.
easier to do anything. Yeah, compared to like August or July or August or October or even December. But it is harder to convert it. It's because of the price policy, guys. It's
Mhm.
really hard to judge, United States sales and Philippine sales. Firstly, United States sales GDP of the United States is way higher than Philippines. Therefore, the average salary of the average person is way higher in the
Mhm.
international scale and internal scale in the United States than in the Philippines. So, for example,
Mhm.
what's the average salary in the Philippines? I would say like 30,000 pesos, right?
Mhm.
So, how like
Mhm.
out of 30,000 pesos, how much percentage can you spend on the mm, entertainment activities on
Mhm.
Tuesday? Not that much, right? So, like,
Yeah.
basically, yeah, you have like probably budget of like 5 to 10,000, just to, or depending how bad it is for you in terms of like your budgeting. But usually it's like 5,000 pesos. That's your limit per month. So
Yeah.
over the 5,000, you cannot spend it. So 5,000 pesos over a month means that it's around 1,200 pesos per week. So we have to first establish proper price policy, which we did with 750 15. So we have for general for GA we have 750 for average and 15 for VIP general admission. So basically, if your budget is under 1.2 per week, it means that you can really spend it, But we just need to do it in the right time,
Mhm.
and that's one thing. So price policy and everything. But what's the difference? What do you need to do in terms of like actually being up the game here is you have to understand that the Philippines is different. It's not United States and it's not like Kazakhstan or anything like that. It's not Canada. So you
Mm.
have to really put attention what people need. We cannot say, oh, it doesn't convert, or we have to give up, or we have to really find out your niche and really work with the audiences. That's
Mm.
why we focused on the small scale events in order to fulfill the small scale event on a monthly basis, rather than do like a big scale like 10,000 people and not actually convert. So it's easier for us. And then we brought up the proper price policy in terms of GAs and tables, and now it's going up a little bit better. So I would say you always have the people fan base, but what you need to do is really uh, work on it, find your
Mhm.
target market. If you're doing the business, especially online, you really need to scale up and really dig into it, like do the content on daily basis, then see to the analytics, see the conversion rate coming from the organic, coming from for Google ads, coming from the Google search, like a SEO, coming from the paid ads, and all together basically kind of coming up with this. And then you have to really pay attention on like what the clients are really into. Not like here in the Philippines, you gotta understand that it's more so emotional. So there is lots of emotion must be involved in the creative that you have to put in. It's not just a fighter, standing up like this. It has to be
Mhm.
more emotional, and that's one thing that Chief Alvin actually told me in terms of like putting creatives. And yeah, so basically you can convert on anything, and 2% conversion rate is not that bad, guys. The URCC conversion rate is like from 2 to 12, depending on the month.
Wow.
It's seasonal, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, but you can really scale up. Doesn't
Mhm.
matter
And
what you. Yeah, you can scale up now.
yeah, yeah, and just a question related to that. How much do you think of a part does proper education to fans and non-fans, is it to to bring them to watch you, not only URCC events but combat sports events in general? Because the thing with Filipino fight fans is
Mm.
not a lot of Filipino fight fans actually understand what's going on in those fights.
Mm.
So you know I would think that we need to do something to make them understand what's going on, that it's not just two people trying to kill each other in a cage or a ring.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Well, so there is for example, UFC or mixed
Mm,
martial arts. You're right. We need to educate to show the proper
mm,
rules, proper everything, proper information, how it's done to
mm,
build up a professional fan base,
yeah.
because the professional fan base will always go, because they're like a uh, hardcore fan base. They will always buy your ticket no matter what,
Mm,
right? So you have to really establish this, but it is very small community, guys. Like very small community. Even within the MMA community, it is
mm,
really small community that really really do and crunch the numbers, really pay attention to the moves, really pay attention to statistics of the
mm,
fights and the rules of the fights, different parameters of the fights, and so on and so forth. These guys are basically it's like like you, Franco, and like who are really paying attention to this stuff. But JC basically it's a very very specific target of people.
mm,
Out of 10 people in a wrestling gym, only like 2 people are actually paying attention to the skill set. A majority, they just go with the flow, including myself. That was me when I was wrestling. Like it
mm,
came up late to me when I was actually thinking, oh, I should really pay attention to the positioning, the flow of the wrestling, and so and all the details. So we need to really build up and create the educational part of the content,
mm,
but you're not going to succeed when it comes down to the business,
mm.
because the money comes with the mainstream, the
Yes.
money counts with the numbers.
Mm,
So basically if you sell something for $2, and if you sell like 1 million units, that's 2 million revenue, let's say, right? So we really need to focus on this, and we have to
mm,
understand that we are now at this moment can produce something like a below average level content, uh, or not that below. I mean, in terms of quality, like a show and stuff like this, we still really limited, but we're really efficient towards it. You know, you know what I mean? Like small event, we got our niche, and we're really grinding on this, and
mm.
we're doing really well as far
Yeah.
as guys. as part of being of URC community, and that's what we're trying to do. With education, yes, we will be doing this, but we are doing not only the educational part, but getting the mainstream. That's
Mhm.
one of the reasons why we brought up the slap. That's one of the reasons why we brought up bare knuckle. We're trying to make it more content to bring the people not only who are like hardcore fans, which is like what 200,000 people in the Philippines, right?
Mhm.
Probably lower.
Yeah, probably lower.
Well, it's a very small community. Well, out of like 100 million, 200,000, it's okay number, but like it's very hard to convert. Now we have to get this out like a target market, these guys, right? Audiences, 200,000, and then put there in one event. That's impossible, guys. Like
Mhm.
that's very impossible. The conversion is very, it doesn't work. So that's why we have to make it more mainstream and then get the attention of the person. Then when they get the attention, when they get to familiarize them, when they familiarize with the URCC, that's when we hit with the educational part. That's when we
Mhm.
hit with MMA and bring it more crunchy numbers.
Mhm.
Can you bring the
And of course, to add what Alex just mentioned, I
yeah.
like the part wherein instead of doing two big events a year, let's do something monthly. So
Yeah.
that brings more
Yeah.
awareness. That funnels a lot of people into getting curious. What is MMA? What is mixed martial arts? What is the
Mhm.
URCC as a brand? What is the
Mhm.
URCC as an organization? What is the URCC as a promotion? And this is a good way to attack this and to create a lot of awareness when it comes to, because now when you go look like the previous Xylo turnouts, a lot of people are actually, watching. A lot of people are screaming. A lot of people are
Mhm.
cheering,
Yeah.
and I see a lot of new faces. And this is
Mhm.
something that
Yes.
the URZZ executing really, really well. I see a
Mhm.
lot of new faces during these events, and a lot of it is all about just like what Alex just said. It's creating content. It's funneling in people into the brand and into what we are all about and what we're doing. So
Mhm.
tomorrow is going to be another URCC event. It's going to be URCC 87. It's going to happen at Xylo BGC. You can watch it live. And thank you to Alex and his team and creating something amazing. All the VIP tables are sold out. So now people can
Mhm.
go to URCC online, get your pay per view if you can't watch it live. But just like we always tell people, nothing compares to watching it live.
Yes.
Alex,
Sure,
uh,
sure.
Crazier.
please like share to everyone who's watching and listening, because they think that we're very biased, but we always tell that we're biased. So from the perspective of someone who works behind the scenes and executing on this,
Mhm.
tell everyone what happens during a live event, because
Oh man,
we always tell people to watch it live. So please tell everyone, how does it feel to be there watching live?
it's very different, man. It's like I've been to UFC events. Yeah, I've been to one FC events. I've been to different promotions all over the world. This is UCC has a specific, unique like environment. The feel. It's like it still has that Fight Club.
Yeah, that Fight
Yeah,
Club vibe, man. I tell
when you
you.
do it, like whoa, okay, there's some dirt in it, like oh yeah, love it. Because when you go to UFC events, it's very production is on point, but it's more professional. Yes, it takes away that grind, that takes away that resistance, and
Mhm.
that's what we have in URCC. And I don't want to say, oh, this is what I created. No, it has been always like that since day one with URCC. All the events been very exotic, very magnetic in terms of watching it live, being there presently. And you know what? Let's do like this. Maybe for the next event, for the next September event, we'll do some sort of giveaway for you guys and for your fans. We'll do like 50 tickets GA VIP.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so just allocate your guys, bring them for free or something, and just we can do something with that. So
Mhm.
your fans can actually feel it and actually experience it like live there presently. So it's different level with the pay-per-view. Comparing pay-per-view to a live event, like live physically being there, pay-per-view sucks, man. Because I mean, firstly, we're just now getting the proper production.
Mhm.
So let's be honest, so it's now we're getting the proper feel to it, and now you can actually just like get that from pay-per-view, getting proper content, proper
Mhm.
Wi-Fi connection, silo, proper
Yeah.
camera placement, and proper music, proper sound and light. So I would say now you can actually see it, like you can buy it pay-per-view. And now we, instead of putting like 1,000 pesos per pay-per-view, now we're doing 99, because
See,
Mhm.
yeah,
diba?
Yeah.
How can you complain? Like a lot of
Yeah.
people now, like access is there, price point is
yeah,
there. You can't really shit on it anymore. You can't really, for 99 pesos, we are bringing you live URCC action
yeah.
to the comforts of your devices.
Mhm.
It's something that is truly unique, and it
It's
allows
cheaper
for
than a cup
everyone
of
to see it.
Starbucks coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
basically
right.
now,
Actually, without
and
thinking
one
about it.
Yeah.
thing one thing that I really like about the whole pay-per-view idea was it gave access to people from different countries who
Mhm.
are fans of the URCC.
Yes.
So
Correct.
for us here in the show, the previous episodes, we get people here from the Gulf region, Canada, Vegas, what do you call this? The regional parts, some of the provinces, and they said they were happy to watch the URCC from
Mhm.
from their screens. It
Mhm.
gives them a sense of home.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
some of them, okay, admittedly, okay, we always do our best to be honest here. So some of them pay-per-view buys, some of them illegal streams. I do not
Yeah.
understand why you watch the illegal
Especially
streams.
now that's just 99 pesos. I
So for
won't understand
99
why they would
pesos,
still.
people, okay, URCC online, okay, URCC online. It
Mhm.
happens tomorrow, August 8th, okay, at Xylo BGC. Alex, last few questions. What are your thoughts on the fight card tomorrow, and how has the all you see how everyone responds to every
Mhm.
URCC
Mhm.
bout or to URCC event? It just keeps getting better and better. So your thoughts for tomorrow's fight card?
Main event. That's something that's
Yeah.
very, very excites me personally. It's basically Eros showed really great fight last time. Man, F and Eros was really good. Was
Yeah.
really
Mhm.
very dynamic. Eros took like a man and just being in like standing the whole time. It was like very like goosebummy experience. And now going against Catalan, Catalan is very good in striking, so it's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to see Era's game, whether he's going to do just groundwork or just standing up as a previous event, because basically Catalan hasn't been competing that much, right? So Era's gets more advantage in this regard. We have different co-main events such as grappling. We have slap fighting, bare knuckle. So come and join us at URCC.online by pay-per-view, buy tickets. Come to Silo at 7 p.m. And don't mind me, guys, if we start a little bit late. You know how it is. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
we'll
compared to previous URCCs, we're actually starting on time. Okay.
all right,
So
all right,
Yes,
guys.
that is
Always.
true.
Yeah, but yeah, go to URC.online again. Big thanks to our presenter. The event is presented by Crazy Win. Go to crazywin.ph, register and play safe.
Mhm.
And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much, Franco.
Yes.
Thank you so much, JC, for the opportunity to
Thank you.
be here and speak up.
Mhm.
And again, all fans of your podcast, thank you so much. Join us at URCC, join us at the DefTag, join us at Grappling. Come by to wrestle with me on Saturdays at DefTech HQ. We're always welcome to anyone, So that's pretty much it. And again, Bin, Ernest, and all these guys who is online. Sup? I'll see you guys tomorrow.
before
Mhm.
we let you go,
Okay.
I'm getting so far 6 private messages. Can we make Alex a regular host for the show? I'm like, we will do our best to tap Alex all the time.
No, no, no.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. No, seriously, like no problem, no problem. Let's do that. Yeah, looking forward.
Okay, we
What
got
do you
that on
think?
record. Okay, we
Yeah.
have that on record. Okay, official. Okay, okay. We call everyone who's like part of our community. We call them Tito. So
Uh,
everybody doesn't want to call you
Chimichurro.
Tito. People want to call you Uncle Alex. It sounds
all right,
better than
Uncle
Uncle
Alex.
Alex. We dub the Uncle Alex. It sounds better, bro. It's like, okay,
Uh,
okay.
Oh yeah, another thing I forgot. We have a GA with Chief Alvin, right? So the
Yeah, August 12th.
Earl, I remember somebody was mentioning about the program for the kids. So you can come by on Saturday. I think it's Saturday, and join the
Saturday.
grassroots program. Yeah, if you have kids, we'll be having the jiu-jitsu grassroots program and the wrestling, and I will be
Mhm.
supervising and actually leading the practice. So, if you have anyone, just come by and just try to get that first flow of grappling. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Alex. Last question. This is also from Earl. Before we let you go, will the URCC hold an all women's combat event? And will you be diversifying your weight divisions for men and women?
Yes, of course, of course. We just need more content, more people participant for a woman. We already did the woman in previous URCC silo, so we are really open to it, and we just need to have more participants. It cannot be the same people, right? So need to get more people for the women's division, and we're good to go. But yes, we're planning to do, and we have already for women's. Great question, yes, but we really need to step up on this and bring more women's division content for the next upcoming events.
And that is it for us, URCC General Manager Alexander Sofronov. Alex, thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much for
much.
your time.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mhm.
for
Franco.
your
See you
insights.
tomorrow.
We
See you
learned a
tomorrow.
lot. A
Yes,
lot
see
of
you tomorrow.
people.
Thank you.
Right? We will see you tomorrow, Alex. Thank you
Yep.
so much again. Thank you. We appreciate the answers you provided the audience and answering people's
Mhm.
questions. We will see you tomorrow. Right? Alex Sofronov, ladies and gentlemen. Follow him
See you.
on social media and of course URCC, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Alex, we'll see you
Mhm.
tomorrow. Thank
See
you
you
so
tomorrow.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Bye
Thank you.
bye. That is
Yes.
it. Everyone, Alexander
Woo!
Sofronov of the URCC. Nakita nyo
Mhm.
naman ang dami nating okay, you watch the replay. He's I mean, especially for the digital marketing people, the marketing people who are watching
Oh,
us,
'di ba nagkaroon pa
he's
ng class dun?
oh, di ba? He just gave us, di ba, a class. Okay, guys gave us
Oo.
a class on how to do things properly, how to spread awareness,
Me
how to do things right, di ba? Make sure there was never a point wherein he said we should earn from this or
yeah.
di ba? Earning is a byproduct of the work you put in.
Mhm.
Yun yung pinaka sinabi niya na talagang yun yung importante. Okay? Of course, marami ring ayan, everybody who's watching and ayan, no? Oh, di ba?
Oh, 'di ba?
Even the sports bin, okay, on Facebook, follow this page, legit,
Ang
mautak,
hindi
very rooted.
hindi din yata naalala nung iba, si Ben was, my partner sa Royal Knuckle, yung first event ng URCC this year.
Ayan,
Ah,
exactly.
so
Dapat
he
we need
does
more bin
commentary too
Cuevas.
paminsan-minsan.
Yeah, we
Yun
need
nga,
more bin
yung kinuwento
Cuevas in
niya
the
sa comments
URCC.
na na Alex asked us to move some chairs kasi hindi nakasya dun sa puwesto namin sa Royal Nightclub.
Mhm.
We complied because Alex was so big
Di
and
ba? A huge guy. And then, dude, eto walang gaguhan Ang galing mag-wrestling ng taong yan. O, iba yung
hanapin niyo nga sa
approach
YouTube,
niya eh.
promise. Hanapin
Iba,
niyo sa
iba,
YouTube yung mga matches nitong taong 'to, grabe.
'di ba? Iba yung approach niya and the strategies and the tactics.
Mhm,
It's even I when I hear him and I listen to him and I see him like navigate through wrestling, it gives us
mhm.
it gives me a different perspective on how to execute,
High level.
'di ba? 'Di ba? Yes, Earl. Yes, it was a very productive Q&A. Yes, you did. 'Di ba?
Me
People, okay, panoorin niyo yung replay. Okay, ang
mhm,
daming naituro ni Alex, ang daming na-share ni Alex when it comes to yung execution niya, i-execute nyo sa mga personal brands nyo, sa
yes.
pagpo-promote nyo sa mga sarili nyo. Ako nagsasabi sa
Mhm.
inyo, 'di ba? Sisikat kayo.
Oo,
Hindi nyo kailangan magpapansin, hindi nyo kailangan maging clout chaser.
yeah,
Gawin nyo siya ng tama.
yes. And, again, hindi, kung wala pa kayong matinong social media following, you can't be asking for sponsorships kasi ano mapapala nila sa inyo, 'di ba?
Mm.
I mean, lalo na kung puro
Tandaan nyo,
basura
ang
pino-post
target
niyo sa
natin yung
social
mga
media.
nagbabayad.
Yes. Hindi na nga pala natin natanong kay Alex 'to, sayang yung, pinasa sa'tin na about someone na coach siya na supposedly ex-pro fighter siya, na tinatawag niyang bobo at mga tanga yung mga naniniwala daw sa condition ng mga fighters.
Alam nyo, ito yan So sinend sa amin yung screenshot na yan nung
Mhm.
status niya. Hindi natin alam kung status pa rin niya yun Pero nung pinakita naman yung record niya, anak ng weteng, ano ba to?
Alam mong walang
1529
kondisyon
ba?
talaga.
1531? Mas maraming talo kaysa sa
15-29.
panalo. O, di ba? Ito lang yun, bakit ka makikinig sa taong mas maraming talo kaysa sa panalo? Bakit ka
Exactly.
makikinig sa taong, di ba? Ba't ka makikinig sa taong wala namang ambag sa industriya, di ba?
Ibig
Di ba?
sabihin
Tsaka
hindi niya alam yung ginagawa niya.
di ba, si Manny Pacquiao, di ba, nanalo ko lang ng isang beses, di ba? Nanalo ko lang ng isang
Hmm,
beses against someone na may strength and conditioning, sasabihin mo hindi na magaling yon. Oo, siya
mhm.
malaki, isang kalahating or dalawat kalahating bobo ka lang, di ba? Kung si Manny Pacquiao may strength and conditioning coach, si Khabib meron, si GSP meron. Ba't ako makikinig sa'yo,
Yes.
di ba? Di ba? The
Yung mga world
audacity.
champions have one, bakit 'di ba?
Di ba?
Kasi sinasabi niya pa na parang kailangan daw dapat daw ma-experience lumaban ng mga conditioning coaches na yun para daw malaman nila na hindi
Plus
talaga
na lang
sila
yun eh.
kailangan
Plus na lang
bullshit.
din yun eh, di ba? For example, sa nutritionist, di ba? Si Janet Aro, ang dami-dami niyang combat sports athlete na
Yes.
tinuturuan. Combat sports athlete ba siya? Hindi naman
Mm.
di ba? Di ba? Hindi ko magets yun eh. I don't get it. I mean, etong mga taon to, medyo ito na lang yung mga na-stuck sa may
'Di ba
huge factor, may plus, okay? May plus
oo.
yung pagiging
Pero it's a
atleta mo.
science eh.
Pero sometimes, 'di ba, there are certain
Mm.
fields na pwedeng, 'di ba, data ang titignan mo,
Mm.
'di ba? Pero yung mga gano'n din naman kasi ginagawa nila 'pag wala silang alam, ini-immerse nila yung
Mm.
sarili nila. May immersion na nangyayari. May immersion process silang sinusunod para, 'di ba, yun yung mapag-aanuhan nila, 'di ba? So that they get a feel of what's happening. 'Di ba, a lot of yung mga strength and conditioning din naman kasi. Feeling ko I see the angle where the guy's coming from. Pero kasi marami ring on the flip side, marami rin naman
Meron kasi
kasing
mga japets eh.
strength and conditioning coaches na hindi alam magpa-strength and conditioning for combat
Yeah.
sports. Ginagawa nila bodybuilding pa rin, di ba?
Mhm. Meron din mga sabi nila gano'n sila pero japeks pala, hindi talaga nila alam ginagawa nila.
O
So
yun din, 'di ba? Ayan, sakto, sabi rin ni Ernest, 'di ba? Ni Tito
mhm.
Ernest. Ayun, ang dami kasing YouTube experts. They watch a few videos about a certain aspect of combat sports tapos biglang expert na rin
Yes.
sila.
Yeah. Eh, 'di ba yung sinasabi nga natin na paulit-ulit sa show na just because you're a fighter doesn't mean puwede ka na agad mag-coach. There's a kumbaga certain understanding of the sport, para kang mag-coach, eh. I mean, yes, lumaban ka sa loob ng ring or ng cage pero I mean iba yung may nakasalalay na tao, na nabuhay ng tao, sa'yo as a coach, eh, kung papaano
'Di
sila
ba? So
didiskarte sa
again,
loob,
there
eh.
are levels to this. There are levels to
Hmm,
so parang ang hirap din, eh, 'di ba? For example, ikaw gusto mo bang magpaturo paano magpapayat sa matabang tao? Yun yung
'di ba?
we 'di ba? So 'di ba? Tsaka at the end of the day, bakit
May
ka
fat shaming 'yan.
ngangaw-ngaw ba't ka ngangaw I'm all for fat shaming, by the way. Pero kung sabihin natin obese shaming, sige, obese shaming, kung gusto niyo maging politically correct about it, I'm all for obese shaming, okey? Pero ano yan eh, so tandaan natin, lahat ng sports may requirements. At
Mhm,
nakita rin naman natin na strength and conditioning or yung pagpapakondisyon ng katawan, malaking
mhm,
factor siya sa tagumpay ng maraming atleta. Okay. Yun yung pinakaimportante. So again, everyone, very good discussion. We will
mhm,
be at Xylo BGC tomorrow for URCC 87. It's going to be Rene Catalan Sr. versus Eros Baluyot. Very good undercard. So you have a
grabe yung mga
mixture
laban.
of BKB, merong slap, merong MMA, and then we
Mhm,
have two grappling co-main event. So yung co-main event natin are grappling. It's a very good matchup. So you got Troy Legaspi versus Paige Alitao.
mhm.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Oo
That's
nga,
going to
eh.
be a really good matchup. And then Red Samson versus sino nga ba yung kalaban ni Red?
Godwin lang ba 'yan?
Godwin Langbayan. Ito si Godwin Langbayan tsaka si Red Samson, very underrated, di masyado sa
Mm,
grappling scene kilala sila, pero sa mainstream hindi pa. Ako nagsabi,
mhm,
these two are really, really good. Okay? So please watch yung dalawang grappling matches na yun. Sulit na sulit
mhm.
yung 99 pesos or kung magkano man yung pay-per-view, Diyos ko, okay? Okay, URCC
₱99 na lang
online,
yung pay-per-view.
'di ba?
Baka
Panoorin niyo
naman
yung
piratahin niyo pa
pay-per-view.
'yun, 'di ba?
napaka sulit na. Yung 99 pesos nyo, tas mapanood nyo Eros Baluyot, Rene Catalan pa lang. Diyos ko, sulit na. Okay, iba pa rin yung kami syempre gusto namin manood kayo ng live kasi kahit kita mo si Alex foreigner outside point of view, kahit siya mismo sinasabi niya iba, may ibang feel. May ibang feel yung manood ng URCC live. Kaya ako nagsasabi sa inyo, please watch it live. 'Di ba? So ito ilalagay ko sa comment section yung link, okay? Link ko 'yan, okay? So diba? Click that link, get your pay-per-view access on that link. Okay? Yun. Click nyo yan, 99 pesos. Okay? 99 pesos, you're gonna watch a really, really good fight card. Okay? Ayan. So everybody, we will wrap this baby up. Make sure that you watch tomorrow, URCC 87, Xylo BGC. Of course, this Combat Sports Weekly episode is brought to you by MC Cycles and the Dojo Garage Green Hills. Maraming salamat po sa inyong suporta. Maraming salamat po for believing in the Titos of Fighting. Again, MC Cycles and the Dojo Garage. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Doon kayo bumili ng motor.
Doon kayo bumili ng motor. Diba? Tsaka yung mga inyong motorcycle accessories.
Sabi lang, Electric Osmosis.
Watched it live and the Ring Girls were the highlight of the night. Kayo talaga, dun yung nalalaman kung anong pinapanood. Di ba? So, sulit din, di ba? Nanonood kayo ng main bouts. In between bouts, meron pa rin kayong sulit na panonoorin. Okay? So, everybody, thank you so much for watching and listening to us. Hope you learned something from this episode. Make sure that you follow the JC Reyes. Okay, type in the JC Reyes, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and then YouTube, and then Pinoy Fight Exchange. Follow it on Facebook, everybody. Okay, yan ang ito rin, kailangan din i-follow nyo to.
Local
okay,
MMA,
Local MMA PH. Local MMA PH. One of
YouTube,
the diba? Forefront yan. Nasa forefront yan ng pagpo-promote ng combat sporting events at combat sports athletes. So, panoorin nyo po yan. Panoorin yan. Tsaka, supportahan po nyo yung page na yan. Then, a lot of leagues. Okay, a lot of leagues are here as well. Not just the URCC. So, we have UKC. We have, yung kay, yung kay Index MMA, UMAD.
Merong upcoming na
Ako sa inyo, UMAD, alisin nyo na yung by Joe Vincenzo. Alam na ng tao kay Joe Vincenzo yan. Lagay nyo na lang UMAD para for branding purposes. UMAD. And then we have, ano pa ba? Siyempre, para ma-mention natin.
Yung Fighter Contender Series.
Fighter Contender Series. Fight Yard. Yan, Fight Yard.
Kailan ba to? August 26. Is there
club din nata sila. Then of course for jiu-jitsu you have AJP, you have Dumao is ASJJF, you have AJP which is the Abu Dhabi Jiu-Jitsu Pro, you have UWW, United World Wrestling, may grappling na rin yan. For MMA meron din PPAF which is the Philippine MMA Federation League. For boxing marami. You have the Ilorde Promotions, VSP, ARQ, PMI Bohol. Ano pa ba?
Blow by Blow, of course.
Blow by Blow. Yan, Blow by Blow.
Handman na events, Omega na events.
Omega, Combati. Yan, di ba? There are a lot of combat sporting events. Then, of course, there are the regional events, local ng Muay Thai Association of the Philippines, Samaang Kickboxing ng Pilipinas is going to do more events next year. Di ba? Walang kawalan, walang kulang.
Napakadaming events na pwede.
Napakaraming events, combat sports. Kaya, kailangan talaga suportahan ng community. Okay? Suportahan ng community. Kailangan ng support ng community para mag-grow. Kasi nga, di ba, kahit si Alex, sinasabi rin niya, kailangan may following from the mainstream crowd.
Yes.
So, it starts with us. It starts, magsisimula ang lahat pag yung community nag-iingay about dun sa ginagawa nila.
Yes.
Di ba? Yun na lang tayo, huwag na tayong lumayo. Yung Rainbow Mafia, napakaliit na sector ng society yan, pero
Diba?
napakaingay nila. Di ba?
Sabi nga ng mga blacks, 'di ba? Inggit sila sa sabi ni who's this stand-up comedian, inggit daw siya doon kasi mas organized pa sila. Bago lang tong Rainbow Mafia pero mas organized pa sila kaysa sa mga
Di
blacks.
ba? Di ba? Napakaliit na sector ng society, pero napakaingay nila, di ba? So, kailangan ganun din tayo. Di ba? Kailangan ganun din tayo. So, everybody, thank you so much for watching and listening to us. This has
Dave
been
Chappelle pala.
a Combat Sports Weekly URCC special. Of course,
May
thank you so
tinatanong
much
si Ben,
again.
Tito's
Ano
Combat Events ang win daw. Ano ka, magpo-promote kami ng event?
Nako. Alam mo,
Medyo
mahirap
mahirap-hirap
yan. Doon muna tayo. Suportahan muna natin yung mga ano. Susuportahan muna namin yung mga nag-organize. Palalakihin muna
Yung
natin.
Arte Suave nga, matagal lang marami naghahanap. Hindi pa
Yung
matuloy
Arte
ulit.
Suave, hinahanap ako ng oras yan. Kasi,
Diba? Napakahirap.
or i-evolve ko na yan. I-evolve ko na yan.
Mm.
Gagawin ko ng ano yan. Hindi naman ibang format. I'm going to make it something that will benefit the community. Kasi yung tournaments, marami ng tournaments, 'di ba? At 'di ba, may ASJJF na, may Dumaw na, meron ng AJP. So, kailangan hindi magko-conflict doon, but at the same time magbe-benefit yung community. So, kailangan may evolution na mangyayari. So, that's what I'm working on. Pero we appreciate you all. We appreciate you guys watching and listening to us every Monday. We're doing our best to do this all the time para sa inyo. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. If you're on Facebook, send us some stars, send us some love. If you're on YouTube, please join the community tab. And then,
you a lot.
diba? Super chats and super thanks. Maraming salamat sa mga nag-share, sa mga nagla-like, sa mga nagko-comments. Diba? We're doing our best to read it all. Pero yun nga, babalik kami dun sa sinabi namin ni JC kanina. Ginagawa namin to ngayon para mag-benefit yung future. Kasi, in all honesty, diba? Real talk lang tayo. Walang ano to sa amin ni JC. Kinakain nito yung oras namin. Pero, kung hindi namin gagawin to, walang gagawa na maayos. Merong gagawa, pero basura. Diba? For the love of the sport and the love of the community lang talaga to. So, talagang we appreciate you all. At sama-sama tayo. Pag nagsama-sama yung boses natin, mas maraming makakapasok at makikita ko ano yung ginagawa natin dito.
Alam din naman natin kung alin yung mga dapat suportahan at alin yung mga hindi. I mean, you know.
JC.
I mean,
bigla may gumanon lang. Nag-iwan lang si JC ng ganon.
Pag-isipan niya yan.
Okay. We will wrap it up with those wise words from JC Reyes. Everybody, this is Coach Franco Rulloda. With me is my fellow Titos of Fighting, JC Reyes of Destroy MNL. We will see you next week for another edition of Combat Sports Weekly Live. Everybody, bye-bye.